XM 89 and the Sirius XM app.
The Titans of Europe are gathered once again for the Euros.
Cristiano Ronaldo for Portugal.
Soccer's best, assembled to represent their nation.
Oh my word, from Kylian Mbappe! And it's another magnificent goal for France.
Trying to reach the pinnacle of European soccer.
Italy are champions of Europe.
Hear the top matches and expert analysis from Euro 2024 all month long on Fox Sports 83 and Sirius XM FC 157. Or listen anytime on the all-new Sirius XM app.
CJCL Toronto. This
Slams the ball to right field. Way back. Way gone.
is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second to throw. In time.
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Blue Jays bullpen day with Alek Manoah out for the year and Yariel Rodriguez still working back. Toronto turns to a trove of relievers to try and stop a top 5 Cleveland Guardians offense. Hi, everybody. Appreciate you spending your Saturday with us. I'm Ben Schulman alongside former Major League catcher Caleb Joseph. Joe Ali is our host, Nick Blackmore is our producer, and Tom Young and Andrew Adams are our technical directors. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers. Today is Watch for a Wish Day at participating Crown locations across the country. Every year, Crown Centers across Canada hand-wash vehicles for $10 with 100% of proceeds going to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Canada. Crown invites you to get your vehicle washed today and help make a difference for critically ill children across Canada. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. Trevor Richards versus Carlos Carrasco is coming up next on Sportsnet.ca, the Sportsnet app, and across the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart Deferred Payment Program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Go to pizza.ca.
Nobody covers the National Football League like Sirius XM NFL Radio.
Mahomes fires it late for the end zone. Caught! Touchdown!
Stay updated with the latest news leading up to training camps.
We don't care about expectations. Talk doesn't win games.
Our panel of experts is getting you ready for the 2024 season.
The more I watch this guy, the more I like him.
There's a story for every team on Sirius XM NFL Radio Channel 88 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app. Tune to Sirius XM NFL Radio Channel 88 all year long to hear expert opinions and analysis from former players, coaches, and executives.
Radio Network.
He's got a little bit of right calf soreness. He's been grinding through it a little bit the last few days. You know, turf and stuff like that. So just being careful right now. Plays all the time, plays every day. And I think just kind of, again, just being careful with it right now. Everyone's kind of dealing with a little bit of something right now, and definitely want to be careful with Bo.
That was Blue Jays manager John Schneider a couple hours ago talking about Bo Bichette's absence from the Blue Jays lineup today. The shortstop getting a rest as Toronto pitches Trevor Richards against veteran Carlos Carrasco for Cleveland. Game 2 of this series. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Caleb Joseph. Less of one guy to focus on the Blue Jays side with a bullpen day today, so let's flip over to the Guardians. Caleb, a guy you saw 6 times, I believe, in your Major League career, Carlos Carrasco. What should the Blue Jays expect from him?
Yeah, they're going to see the kitchen sink. They're going to see the cutter, slider, sweeper, changeup, curveball. He's got them all. He's a veteran pitcher, 37 years old, probably on the back end of his career. He's going to be mixing pitches in and out. He's going to try and use the fastball up and in. We'll go to that fastball down and away. We'll like to play off of the down and away fastball with the slider. Blue Jays are going to really have to keyhole him. If they try and chase him all around the zone, they're going to get more of what they had last night, but they're going to really have to hone in, pick a specific speed, a specific spot on the plate to try and go after, really be disciplined, because there's nothing that he's going to throw out there that's going to be overwhelming. It's going to be a cat and mouse game. See if the Blue Jays can wait him out, see if they can square some balls up and put something on the board.
That is the name of the game for Toronto today after a 3-1 loss yesterday. First, let's look over, though, at the Guardians lineup as Cleveland will hit first today. Stephen Vogt's team leads off. Stephen Kwan, the designated hitter. Andres Jimenez, the second baseman, hits second. Left fielder David Fry batting third. First baseman Josh Naylor hits cleanup. Tyler Freeman, the center fielder, batting fifth. Will Brennan in right hits sixth. Batting seventh at third base, Daniel Schneemann. Brian Rocchio, the shortstop, hits eighth, and then Bo Naylor, the catcher, bats ninth. Like we mentioned, Carlos Carrasco will pitch. For the Blue Jays, they'll lead off Spencer Horwitz today. He's manning second base. The catcher's Danny Jansen hitting second. First baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr. bats third. The DH is Justin Turner. He's the cleanup hitter. In left field, hitting fifth, Dalton Varsho. Over in right field, it's George Springer. He'll bat sixth. Third baseman Addison Barger makes his reintroduction to the lineup, hitting seventh. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is at short in replacement of Bo Bichette, hitting eighth. And the center fielder Kevin Kiermaier bats ninth. Getting the start today for the Blue Jays, or maybe the open is more correct. Trevor Richards will start his second game of the year. 1-0 this year with a 3.31 earned run average in 29 games. One start, and it's a simple game plan for Richards. It's fastball changeup.
Yeah, really simple. He's throwing the changeup slower with more kind of north-south break instead of that kind of arm side run that we've seen in the past. It's a standalone changeup pitch, thrown at almost 60% of the time, 65% of the time. But it's that good that hitters can know what's coming, and they still can't square it up.
Stephen Kwan about to step in. We'll give you the standings in a sec. Brought to you by Bet365. You can bet live in-game on game props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19+, play responsibly. Ontario only. First pitch of the day is popped up way high above second base. Spencer Horwitz backing up onto the turf, makes the catch. 1 out. First pitch today, 3:07 Eastern. Beautiful day again in Toronto. The roof is open. The sky is clear blue. It's 21 degrees Celsius in downtown Toronto, 69 Fahrenheit. So 1 out after the first pitch pop up by Kwan. Here's Andres Jimenez. The pitch. Downstairs, 1-0. On those Bet365 standings, the Yankees enter today leading the division 50-22. Baltimore 45-24. Boston an even 35-35. The Blue Jays 33-36. Tampa Bay 33-37. Swing and a miss from Jimenez, the second hitter for the 44-23 Cleveland Guardians, who lead the AL Central. Left-handed hitting middle infielder up. Richards kicks and delivers. Swing and a pop-up foul to the left. 1-2.
And we talked about the changeup from Richards. First 4 pitches of the game have been fastballs. Take that for predictability. You know what? And I like it when he does kind of start the left-handers off with the changeup, kind of get them up in that upper zone, feeling it up top, and then being able to really throw that changeup underneath. Would expect one right here.
1-2. Grounded to first, backhanded by Guerrero. A flip back to Richards for the out. It was a changeup there that got Jimenez out in front.
And a lot of times when you're an off-speed specialist, as Richards is, throwing that changeup 60% of the times, as a defensive team, you've got to really establish that fastball up to get them started speeding up, so to speak. They're going to start slow, speed them up so then you can get them down underneath below late.
Here's David Fry now with 2 down. Right-handed hitting left fielder. First pitch. Swing and a pop-up into the seats off to the right foul. 0-1. We're in the first inning, which is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. No score, nobody on, 2 outs. And the pitch. High, 1 ball, 1 strike. Fry's a .319 hitter this year, 8 doubles, 8 homers. 1-1. Swing and a bouncing ball left side. Picked up by Barger, the rookie. Crow hops, throws to first, pulls Guerrero off the bag, but he tags him in plenty of time on the laser throw. And that will be the 3rd out of the inning. Quick 1-2-3 for Richards. Horwitz, Jansen, Guerrero to hit for the Blue Jays in the bottom of the first. No score. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2menintruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2menintruck.ca. So when you gotta move, I'll move one day. Think 2menintruck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2menintruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
When Blue Jays starter Kevin Gausman is on the mound, you hear a lot of pops at Rogers Center. The pop of the ball hitting the catcher's mitt. The pop of the crowd as they cheer on another Gausman strikeout. But most importantly for Goss, the pop of his bubble gum.
Swing and a miss, got him on the splitter again. One of the best at his craft.
Gausman loves his gum, so be one of the first 15,000 fans on Wednesday, July 3rd, and get your Kevin Gausman bubblegum bobblehead. Get your tickets at BlueJays.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit ConnexOntario.ca.
Hey, this is Bo Bichette. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the first inning in downtown Toronto. I'm Ben Shulman alongside Caleb Joseph. No score, Blue Jays and Guardians. Spencer Horwitz at the plate. Carlos Cookie Carrasco with his first pitch of the day hits the zone and starts Horwitz off with a strike. 0-1. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth, by the way. Show Ali's our host. Nick Blackmore's our producer. Tom Young, Andrew Adams, our technical directors. 0-1 pitch. Called strike again. 0-2. Carrasco making his 12th start of the year. 2-5. A 5.5 ERA. 0-2. Swing and a bouncer foul. This is a guy in his 15th major league season. The 6'4" righty from Venezuela, 37 years old. 0-2. Down and away. Caleb mentioned it off the top. Low 90s four-seamer, changeup, slider, sinker, curveball, and sweeper. 1-2. Swinging a looping ball into the seats off to the left. A guy who at one point in time, it was 95, 96 with the fastball. Even last year was 93, but has dropped off in velocity pretty significantly this season. 1-2. Just outside. Good take by Horwitz.
Yeah, the Carlos Carrasco that I faced, he was 95, 96 with a devastating sweeper, and that was many years ago before the sweeper was a sweeper. It looked like a Frisbee to us. We hadn't seen that type of shape before.
2-2. Chop to first base, stays fair for Naylor, who fields it almost right on the bag and steps on the base for the first out.
Was always really good at going to the glove side, Carrasco was. nailing that fastball down and away, working a two-seam down and away to the right-handed hitters, then working that sweeper off of it. Was a part of a staff that included Bauer, Clevenger, Kluber. Very good rotation there, going all the way back to Carrasco's first stint with the Indians.
One out. Here's Danny Jansen. Bases empty, no score, and the first pitch freezes Jansen for strike one. Carrasco signed with the Phillies in 2003 out of Venezuela, was traded as one of, if not the main piece in the Cliff Lee deal in 2009. Swing and a miss by Jansen, 0-2. So went from Philadelphia to Cleveland, and after getting some Tommy John and getting into the regular rotation, was a staple in the mid to late 2010s. 0-2. Swing and a fly ball, shallow center, curling to right center. Tyler Freeman gets under it, makes the catch. 2 down. Had some really, really strong seasons. You go, I know people don't care too much about wins anymore, but in 2017 he led the majors with 18 wins and was 4th in Cy Young voting. Has been a Roberto Clemente Award winner in 2019, has been a comeback player of the year after going through treatment for leukemia. 2 down, and here's his pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Swing and a pop-up back of first. Going back onto the right field turf, Naylor. Called up by Jimenez, the second baseman, near the line, makes the play and ends the inning. Blue Jays down 1-2-3, no score after 1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The U.S. Open is on Sirius XM Channel 92.
This one is well up into the air, right on line. Lands, he holds it. A hole-out eagle at the first for Scotty Scheffler.
Hear exclusive coverage from Pinehurst Country Club right now.
A superstar in the game of golf. Wyndham Clark is a major champion. He's won the U.S. Open.
The U.S. Open on Channel 92 in the car and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on Sirius XM Channel 89 and every morning on the Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy league right now on Channel 87.
Aaron Judge drills a 3-run home run.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to our all-time fantasy baseball draft to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts. Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Hey, baseball fans, the 2024 NBA Draft begins on June 26th, and NBA Radio is your home for all the action. Your every pick on NBA Radio, Channel 86, and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the second inning in Toronto, no score. Blue Jays and Guardians at Rogers Center. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Caleb Joseph. Josh Naylor at the plate. Mississauga native takes the first pitch down and in from Trevor Richards. 1-0. Both starters in this game work quickly through the first. 1-2-3 on either side. Trevor Richards, the opener for the Blue Jays, kicks and fires, and misses high with a changeup. 2-0. Richards, the righty against the left-handed hitting slugger Naylor. 227 batter this year, 17 homers, 50 RBIs. 2-0. Swing and a cue shot foul just down the third baseline. That one was a soft liner that nearly snuck through and beat the shift or the drift for a double, but instead it's 2-1. Infield for the Blue Jays way over to the right. If you're looking out as a batter, you have the shortstop IKF up the middle, second baseman Horwitz deep in the hole. 2-1. Swing and a foul back. Naylor loses his helmet as he sends that fastball back into the netting. 2-2. There's a huge section of what appears to be Naylor friends and family, a pocket of red jerseys past the first base dugout, high in the 100 level. Naylor asks for time. It's granted by home plate ump Chad Whitson. Bill Miller, the crew chief, at first. Malachi Moore at second. Doug Eddings at third. And they have these custom 2-number jerseys with Josh and Bo's numbers on the back of the Guardians jersey.
Nice.
2-2 in the dirt. Both have played here already, but last year when Bo played in Toronto for the first time, Josh was hurt. So this is the first time that both are playing at the same time. They were both in the lineup yesterday.
Yeah. Very special for that family.
3-2. Fouled off.
Can remember playing in the big leagues with my brother 2018, and my family was just elated. They were ecstatic, and you think about the chances. 30 different teams, you just get drafted, trades, whatever, and the fact that you end up on the same team, quite a feat.
3-2 pitch is hit on the ground, left side and through into left field. The Blue Jays drift does end up hurting them, as Barger, the third baseman, was over near short, and that one goes right through the third base position and into left.
Richards making some really nice pitches to Naylor. Naylor fouling off some really tough ones. He finally gets a fastball kind of up close to him and just really turns with the angle of the bat holding back, is continuing to turn, which then gives the ball direction to third base. Really nice piece of hitting right there with 2 strikes.
Naylor leading off first. Here's Tyler Freeman, the center fielder. First pitch popped up. Back of second. Horwitz and Guerrero scrambling back. It's Horwitz making the call and an over-the-shoulder catch in shallow right. 1 down. We're in the second inning, presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19-plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. To go back to that Naylor hit as Will Brennan, the right fielder, steps in. That was a fastball up and kind of away that Naylor hit. When you're catching, and get your answer after this pitch, how much are you calling to the shift of the defense as much as the hitter? Here's the first pitch to lefty hitter Will Brennan, fouled back 0-1.
Yeah, it's part of the game plan. You obviously have a sequence that you're looking for, that you might throw this pitch to get to that pitch to then finish them off with the other pitch, and you are pitching to the sequence, but sometimes you pitch to the defense as well, where you see a bunch of guys over there and you might want to go in hoping that he pulls it.
Next pitch, Brennan goes around on a high fastball, 0-2. I only say that because the up and away pitch somewhat conducive to hitting it the other way where the defense was not positioned.
Right, and there's a little bit of a hole up and away to Naylor. I do remember that playing against him, that if you get it all the way to the top, you can get some whiff there.
Naylor skipping around at first, the 0-2 in the dirt. He's not much of a base stealer. 3 stolen bases this year. He's been caught twice, but he was bouncing way off the bag at first. Now talking to Sandy Alomar Jr.
Yeah, and he's one of the best at being able to read sequences, being able to read timings from pitchers, working with them for so long behind the plate. The former catcher, he's really good at knowing what times are good to go.
1-2 pitch is hit in the air, deep right field. Springer chasing it toward the corner, and that ball is foul and just off the top of the wall, but in that sliver of foul territory deep down the right field line, it drops in. That's a big break for the Blue Jays.
It sure is. It's a changeup that fools Brennan, but because he's kind of out on his front foot and throwing the barrel down at that ball, he's able to really get it extended, kind of scoops it. And we just got the replay, just missed by a matter of inches, it looked like, on that right field line. Big break for the Jays.
Brennan had a home run and a double yesterday. He's batting .237 this year. 1-2. Swing and a powerful drive left field. Backing up Varsho to the track, makes the catch in the shadow of the wall, and tosses it back into the infield. Naylor scrambling back to first. 2 down, but 2 big swings by Will Brennan.
Yeah, he's seeing the ball really well from Richards, and it was almost a carbon copy of last night's game. That same kind of line drive to left field that just continued to carry off of Gausman. Same swing from Brennan. This one hangs up just a little bit, but he's got some opposite field power.
2 down, runner on first. No score, top of 2. Daniel Schneemann takes a pitch high, 1-0. Schneemann got the start in the outfield yesterday, was in center field. Today he's at third base. Rookie playing in his 9th major league game. Bats left. 1-0. Swinging a fly ball off to the left and deep into the 100 level foul. It's been a good start to Schneeman's Major League career. 6 for 16, that's a .375 average, and half of those hits, extra base hits, 2 doubles and a triple, drove in his 3rd career RBI yesterday. Richards in the set, glove at his belt, looks into the plate, kicks and releases. Outside with a fastball. Two balls and 1 strike is the count now as the long-haired third baseman Schneeman steps out, steps back in and taps the plate. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. Got him out in front on a changeup. Bounced off the chest of Jansen, who scrambles for it first base side. Naylor stays at first. It's 2-2. A base hit for Josh Naylor. Snuck it through the left side to start this inning. A pop-up and a line-out since. 0-0, top of 2, Guardians and Blue Jays. With a runner on first, the 2-2 pitch. Never mind a throw over. Was getting right to the end of the clock there. Richards decided to abort, step off, and give a look at Naylor. First step off of the plate appearance. Richards back on the rubber, stands on the third base side. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got him out in front on a change. First strikeout of the day for Richards in his 2nd scoreless inning. 1 hit allowed to Josh Naylor, who's left on first. No score, middle of 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck. The movers who care.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Hey, this is Chad Green. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
I just run up in the front row, that fire and brimstone.
Justin Turner kicks some chalk out from the righty batter's boxes. We're about to start the bottom of the 2nd inning at Rogers Center. Scoreless game, Guardians and Blue Jays. Carlos Carrasco on the mound for Cleveland. His pitch. Called strike 1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Caleb Joseph. Blue Jays went down 1-2-3 against Carrasco in the first. A ground out, a fly out, and a pop-up. A 1. Outside. Pretty veteran matchup you get here with the 37-year-old Carrasco, 39-year-old Justin Turner.
Chess game for sure going on out there.
The 1-1. Outside, 2-1.
I would not be surprised if this at-bat went to 3-2 in perpetuity. If Turner gets 2 or 3 at-bats, I would say every one of them goes to 3-2.
2-1 pitch is in there to make it 2-2. Turner, a .227 hitter this year, 12 doubles, 4 homers. Carrasco in the set, the pitch. Swing and a fly ball off to the left foul to keep the count 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sunglasses on a sunny day here in Toronto. Justin Turner with the blue tint shades. 2-2 again. And it's off the end of the bat, foul, rolling to the right.
Getting close. Carrasco working the sweeper off the down and away part of the plate, trying to run a two-seam up and in. He's going to use all quadrants with all of his different shapes and speeds.
7th pitch of the plate appearance is hit down the right field line. Sprinting toward the line, Brennan. It's down foul. Nearly blooped it into some open space there, but Turner, who had made it all the way to first, curls back. Never dropped his bat. He's walking back to the plate.
Yeah, one of those kind of weird emergency hacks. It looked like as the breaking ball kind of front hips Turner, he sees it kind of at him, kind of locks down jelly legs just a little bit, and then decides, oh my goodness, it's going to come over the middle of the plate. Kind of an emergency late hack. He almost dropped it in right there for a base hit.
Turner back at the plate now. Open stance, leaning back, twitching both of his legs as he waits for the pitch. 2-2 again. Downstairs, and it is 3-2 as Caleb Joseph celebrates.
Yes! There it is, folks. That's my dynamite nugget of the game. That's all I got.
Turner has seen 8 Carrasco pitches to start this outing, or to start this inning. 3-2. Swing and a bouncer, foul to the right.
Hey, we were talking in between innings. This really is the type of at-bat you don't necessarily want, but you don't want to be in a rush with Carrasco. If he throws it in the exact spot at the exact speed that you're looking for, then have at it. But you got to really be patient and disciplined and be willing to give a strike to then maybe get a pitch, because nothing that Carrasco is going to throw up there is going to overwhelm you. You can't be in a rush against these guys. Got to be patient.
Carrasco sets. Full count offering again. Up and in, ball 4. A leadoff walk for Turner.
Now batting, number 25, Dalton Varsho.
Let's welcome our future announcer, presented by Rogers, 8-year-old Kevin from Milton, announcing Dalton Varsho.
Fantastic. Wow, what a future.
He hit it right on beat. First pitch to Varsho, outside, ball 1. Well, we were looking for a grueling plate appearance from Turner versus Carrasco. We got it, Caleb.
That was it. That's what it's going to take. And then you blink, you have a bloop, and then out of nowhere you get that blast.
1-0 pitch. Called strike, top of the zone against Varsho to make it 1-1. Second left-handed hitter of 4 today for the Blue Jays is Dalton Varsho. 1-1. Swing and a drive, deep right field. Brennan going back, turns around, it's off the wall on a hop. Turner headed to third. Varsho sliding into second with the double, and the Blue Jays have 2 in scoring position. Nobody out.
But it's life I cannot change. Now batting, number 4, George Springer.
Again, that's 8-year-old Kevin from Milton, our future announcer, presented by Rogers. Quite the swing there, Caleb, from Dalton Varsho.
Yeah, a little slider nestling middle down, and that's what Varsho's been able to do. Been able to kind of golf that ball into right field. He squared it up.
Second and third, no outs. First pitch to Springer, hit on the line, up the middle, a base hit. Turner in to score. Varsho stops at third. It's 1-0 Toronto on George Springer's RBI single.
And I really believe it all starts with the at-bat by Turner. Waited him out, and now you start to get a couple pitches to hit.
Springer found a fastball elevated on the outside edge and just shot it right back up the middle.
Yeah, trying to go inside with runners at second and third, the infield in. You're kind of looking for that sinker on the inner half. The ground ball to the infield. Could not get that pitch to the inner half. It's left middle, up, out, over. Springer blasts it right back up the box.
First pitch to Addison Barger, swinging bunt, foul off to the right. 0-1. So 1-0 Blue Jays. They score first in this one. Runners on first and third. Nobody out. In the bottom of the second, it's Springer on first, Varsho on third, with Barger batting for the first time since being called back up yesterday. 1 hit and 18 tries this year. Turn and throw to first. Springer moved the wrong way but gets back in time.
Uh-oh.
And now Carrasco is down on the mound. He's back up and asking for the baseball. Truthfully, I didn't see it. I was looking over at first, but on replay, it looks like he stumbled on the throw.
Yeah, he did. He went to make the move to pick off at first base, and the left leg just slipped right out from under him, and he ended up on his knees. And I will tell you, playing in day games here at this field, I think that this is the best surface, dirt-wise, in terms of how they prep the field. I loved catching here. I will say, when the roof is open and the sun starts to beam down, it does get a little bit rocky out there. It does get a little bit hard, and it looked like he might have just lost an edge. His left heel kind of slipped, and sometimes when you slip like the way he just did, you can kind of aggravate something in the hip, maybe in the quad or the hamstring. Looks like he's going to have a couple warm-up tosses here, but what looked like a very innocent play for a 37-year-old, sometimes things can kind of tweak up here and there.
Carrasco throwing some warm-up pitches. You have Carl Willis, the pitching coach, on the left side of the mound watching, Stephen Vogt, the manager, and James Quinlan, the head athletic trainer, on the right side of the mound from our view from behind home plate. Carrasco's thrown to. He's walking off the mound now. Gets a pat on the back from Willis. He's going to remain in the game. That's great news.
Yeah, you know how it is when you're walking, say you're walking in the mall somewhere and somebody's spilt some water and you just hit it and it just kind of jars you a little bit, and you can even have something in the back when you slip on that little water. That's exactly what it looked like on the mound as he tried to spin and throw to first. Looks like he's going to be all right. See if Barger can do something big here.
No balls and one strike to count. First and third, no outs. He throws over to first again. You gotta love that from the veteran who just had the training staff check on him because of a pickoff. He doubles up, but Springer does dive back in.
Oh, that is so savvy. And it looked like Springer, he made a move to second like he might have been going.
He might go again. 2 moves already to first. He will take off on the next pitch, and it's bounced to the left side by Barger through the vacated shortstop hole into score Varsho. That's a hit and run to perfection, and it's 2-0 Blue Jays with runners on first and second.
Yeah, Blue Jays offense rolling right now. You said it, Ben, to perfection as Springer takes off on the pitch. Jimenez at shortstop is going to second base to cover the throw. Barger's hit is kind of a ground ball, tailor-made right to where... Rocchio was at short. It would have been right there, but because he vacated to try and get the stolen base, it just bounces right through.
First major league RBI for Addison Barger. First pitch to IKF is a bunt put down third base line, but it rolls foul. Scooped up by the Canadian catcher Bo Naylor. 0-1, and they're pulling out all the tricks so far here. Potential hit and run, and then maybe a sacrifice bunt here in the bottom of the second.
Why not? Why not? Nobody out, first and second. You're mounting a beginning. Already 2 on the board. Carrasco right-handed, Kiermaier left-handed. Very unselfish play by Kiner Falefa.
Corners remain in. 2-0 Blue Jays. First and second, no outs, bottom 2. Turn and look at second. Springer is back in. No throw over there from Carrasco. Middle infield at double play depth. Shortstop Rocchio has moved closer to third.
Uh-oh.
And the 0-1. Kiner Falefa squares to bunt, pulls it back. Naylor in between the plate and the mound by the end of the play. And they're a little bit wary of some sort of wheel play.
Absolutely. That was absolutely a wheel play. And that was a buntable ball. And that is a really good read by IKF. Naylor, they're both charging. If IKF puts that ball in the middle of the field, that is being redirected to third.
1-1, and it's a bunt put down just in front of the plate. Springer over to third. The throw goes over to first to get Kiner Falefa. So runners in scoring position now as Springer moves from second to third. Barger up from first to second on the sac bunt by IKF.
Yeah, perfectly executed off the end of the bat. It deadens it just kind of right in front of the cut of the turf and the dirt. You're either trying to put it right there or you're trying to force the third baseman Schneemann to make that play. IKF gets it done. Now Kiermaier's got to get the ball elevated into the outfield.
Infield in the pitch. Low ball 1. 2-0 Blue Jays on a walk and 3 hits this inning. 1 out. Barger on second, Springer on third. Bottom of the second inning. The 9-hitter Kiermaier batting for the first time. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a foul off to the left. It's the last day to guarantee yourself a chance at all 157 early bird prizes during Jace Care's 50-50 jackpot. The first 5 prizes are drawn tomorrow afternoon. You could win premium club tickets to a future Blue Jays home game. BlueJays.com/5050 is where you get your tickets, Ontario or Nova Scotia. Swing and a miss by Kiermaier. Stumbles a little bit on that 1-1 swing. It's now 1-2. That was the slider that Kiermaier was out in front of. Outfield plays him the opposite way. Center fielder Freeman in left center. 1-2. Just outside and low. Good take by Kiermaier. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Carrasco palming up the ball. Giving a second to his second baseman, Jimenez, who's doing up his shoes. The clock is still ticking. Jimenez might want to ask for time at second. He gets up with 2 on the clock. Carrasco on the mound. And Carrasco stepped on and stepped off to reset the clock. Second and third, the 2-2. Bounce to the plate, blocked off the chest by the young catcher Naylor. Kiermaier looking over at third to Carlos Fablis. George Springer gave him some claps, the runner on third base. Kiermaier searching for his 10th RBI of the year, sitting on 9. 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Pitch in the dirt, tag applied by Naylor. Kiermaier strikes out there, now 2 down.
Still got pretty nice tight spin on the breaking balls, does Carrasco, and he kind of starts this breaking ball a little bit underneath the zone, and it just at the last second darts right underneath. That's actually a good pitch to really try and scoop to the outfield. Kiermaier just over it. Carrasco gets the punch.
First strikeout of the day. Here's Spencer Horwitz, who lines the ball to left field on the first pitch, a base hit. Springer in to score. They'll hold up Barger as it was a shallow hit to left. It's an RBI single for Horwitz and a 3-0 Blue Jay lead.
I think right there is what you want Horwitz at the top of the order. The on-base capabilities, the ability to get singles, to get hits. It's a pitch that's on the inner half, a four-seam fastball trying to jam Horwitz, and I always thought that, if you can get that inner pitch and you can get the ball out in front, but the barrel have angle, you can still be beat as a left-handed hitter and shoot that ball to left field. It's exactly what Horwitz did. The ball beat him on the inner half. He sucked the hands in. The handle starts moving in front of the ball. The barrel's lagging. That gives it direction. The angle of the bat is perfect. That gives it the height it needed. Really nice at bat from a youngster. Looked like a pure veteran up there hitting on that pitch. Tough pitch to hit, but he got a perfect result.
His 8th hit already this year in 21 at-bats, 3rd RBI of the season. And still room for the Blue Jays to do more damage. They've scored 3 runs in this inning. They've come up with 4 hits and a walk. They have runners on first and third, 2 down. Carl Willis, the pitching coach, was out to talk to Carrasco. He's back in the Guardians dugout first base side. Here's Danny Jansen. Again, first and third, 2 down. 3-0 Toronto, bottom 2. Carrasco peeks at first and the pitch. Swing and a hot shot to third on the ground, picked up by Schneemann. He pumps and throws over to second for the quick out to end the inning. The Blue Jays score 3, though, on 4 hits. Horwitz driving in the last one to make it 3-0 Blue Jays at the end of 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between pizza, and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Sprinting back, Varsho curling at the track. He leaps, and he made the catch!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Third inning on a sunny day in downtown Toronto. Welcome back to Rogers Center. 3-0. The Blue Jays lead the Guardians in Game 2 of this series. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left is Caleb Joseph. 8-9-1 for the Guardians here in the third. Brian Rocchio, Bo Naylor, and Stephen Kwan against Trevor Richards. Richards to Rocchio, high, 1-0. Blue Jays put up a 3-spot on Carrasco in the bottom of the second. RBI singles by Springer, Barger, and Horwitz. 1-0. Just inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Third inning for Richards as an opener today, but the Blue Jays are looking to the future. Tim Meza is getting loose. 2-0. Called strike 2-1. Richards up to 29 pitches now after hitting the zone there. Righties 2-1. Bounce the changeup in front of the plate. He'll take a walk around the rubber as Jansen delivers him a new ball. 3 balls, 1 strike. Rocchio, the shortstop's a switch hitter, batting from the left side. .215 this year, 11 doubles and a homer. 3-1. Swing and a pop-up off the handle, shallow right center. IKF going out, reaches over the shoulder, and the shortstop in right center field makes the play. 1 out.
Wow. You know, not a very easy play, generally speaking, but even tougher with the sun, as the sun looks like it's probably right in his view. Really nice way to start off the inning. Looks like that might be end of the road for Richards.
With 3 lefties in a row coming up in the Cleveland order, Richards walks off to an applause. Tim Meza will enter with 1 out and nobody on in the top of the third. 3-0 Blue Jays. Let's go over to today's host. Here's Show Ali.
Thank you very much, guys. And don't forget, before we check the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill, we do have the Jays talk after this game today. And Elliot Franceschi, he is here at the Rogers Center with me. He and I have the post-game show. 590-590 is where you can text us. Name and location. The People's Text Line's always open. You can do so right now if you like. We'll throw out the numbers for you to call once this game is in the books. All right, on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, the NBA Finals will continue. The Dallas Mavericks forcing a Game 5 in Boston after a 122-84 win last night. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving combining for 50 points in the win. The Celtics do still lead the series 3-1. Game 5 will be at TD Garden on Monday night, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. Meanwhile, the Stanley Cup playoffs could, in theory, be over tonight. The Florida Panthers are up 3-0 in the Stanley Cup final on the Edmonton Oilers. The Cats winning Game 3 by a final score of 4-3. Game 4 is in Edmonton at Rogers Place tonight. The Cup will be in the building from here on out. Puck drop this evening, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Sportsnet and the CBC. Some Leafs news today as well. For those who are displeased with the Leafs power play in the playoffs, well, fret not. Guy Boucher is not returning to the team. That's from Leafs PR. And the UEFA European Championship, otherwise known as the Euros, are officially underway. Today, the Swiss beat Hungary 3-1. Spain thumping Croatia 3-0, and the Azzurri taking on Albania. Italy up 2-1, though the Albanians did open the scoring 22 seconds into the game. It was the fastest ever goal in the history of the Euros. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action. Here's Ben Schulman and Caleb Joseph.
Thank you very much, Joe. Tim Meza on for the Blue Jays. The left-hander enters with 1 out and the bases empty. 3-0 Blue Jays. Top of the third. His left-on-left pitch to Bo Naylor. Called strike 1. It's a simple repertoire for Richards. We mentioned the starter. Same with Meza. 2 pitches, sinker, slider for the southpaw. His 0-1. Down and in. Tough start to the year so far for Mesa, who owns an ERA around 5.5. Last appearance came in the finale against the Brewers. 1-1. Downstairs 2-1. This is his 30th appearance of the year. He struck out 15, walked 10 in 21 innings. Naylor, the 9-hitter and catcher, faces a 2-1, takes it at the knees. It's 2-2.
Velocity's been down a little bit from Mesa this entire year. Blue Jays fans really used to seeing him in that kind of 94, 95 range, more like 91, 92.
2-2. Low at 92 to make it a full count.
And it doesn't seem like it's that much of a difference, but from the left-hander, it really plays. And so if you're going to be 91, 92, you're going to really have to locate, especially get him moving on the inner half.
Payoff pitch is fouled back just under our feet, went straight back over the netting and actually bounced off the backs of the seats and catapulted back into the 100 level.
Yeah, a little bit of height. That would have landed right in your lap, Ben. Directionally, it was perfect.
I don't need that today. 1 out, 3-2 pitch. Fouled off to the right.
But when you have 95, you can kind of miss more in the zone. At 91, 92, you especially left on left. I said it last night with Cabrera. Being able to locate a pitch on the inner half will set you up for that slider away. Mesa's had good downward action on the fastball in this outing so far. See if he can get it in on Naylor.
3-2 pitch is lifted to shallow right. Horwitz going out. He's called off by the right fielder, Springer. That one did sound like it came off the handle there inside. It's caught by Springer, 2 down.
Yep, just get the lefties out. And I think that's exactly what John Schneider wants from Mesa here. Of course, that's what your goal is. Always to get outs, but especially when you come in relief of Richards, you're looking at the 2 lefties. Get the 2 lefties out. Keep it a 3-0 lead. He's done one of that 2-part piece so far.
First pitch to Stephen Kwan, top of the order hitter, takes strike 1. 2 outs, bases empty, 3-0 Blue Jays, top of the 3rd. Kwan running a 20-game on-base streak right now, 3rd most in Major League Baseball. 0-1. Called strike 0-2. 3rd most active. He did pop up on the first pitch of the game, though, back in the 1st inning. Mesa in the set. His 0-2. Swinging a bouncing ball right side, base hit into right field. That'll make it 21 games in a row that Stephen Kwan is on base. We're in the 3rd inning, which is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers. Today is Wash for a Wish Day at participating Crown locations across the country. Every year, Crown centers across Canada hand-wash vehicles for $10 with 100% of the proceeds going to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Canada. Crown invites you to get your vehicle washed today and help make a difference for critically ill children across Canada. Find your participating local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. First pitch to Andres Jimenez hits the outside edge of the zone. 0-1. Kwan on first, 2 down, 3-0 Blue Jays. Road half of the 3rd. Mesa staring at the runner, looks to the plate and the pitch. Swinging a bouncing ball, foul down the first baseline. 0-2. Zach Pop is warming up in the Blue Jays bullpen. This is the 3rd batter that Tim Mesa has faced. A right-handed hitter, David Fry, is on deck. So whether he finishes the inning or Jimenez reaches, feels like probably the last batter for Tim Mesa. 0-2. Slider down and away, picked by Jansen, sliding to his left.
Yep, you're exactly right. This is Mesa's last batter, and 1-2 count. Love that he took a shot there with a slider. A lot of times when you miss really badly on the slider, you like to kind of go back to it. Looks like they might go back inside, though.
1-2. Fastball hit off the handle, looping to right field, and just sneaks over the head of Horwitz for a base hit. Kwan with a big turn. He'll go back to second. That's a tough break for Mesa as he jammed Jimenez, who muscled it out to right for a base hit.
Yeah, it's not a bad pitch from Mesa. With 2 strikes, you're really trying to jam, and as that sinker comes in, If you keep it below the zone, it's a ground out. But because it's up, elevated right around the belt, Jimenez is able to keep the barrel through it, which adds the loft, which adds to the base hit.
So Meza comes in, gets one out, allows 2 singles, and that will be his day. A look up to the sky as John Schneider comes out to the mound and brings in the third Blue Jays pitcher of the third. Here comes Brampton's own Zach Pop. Let's go over to our host today. Here's Show Ali.
It's a good thing it's a busy day in sports. Got a lot of stuff for you guys on the out-of-town scoreboard. We do have Jays talk today, by the way. Daniele Franceschi is here at the Rogers Center with me. He and I have the post-game show. 590-590 is where you can text me.
Hey Insiders, TSI Mike here. Thank you for coming back for another Toronto Blue Jays game. Every single Blue Jays game is live right here on Toronto Sports Insider. Thank you all for being here. Do not forget to hit that like button down below. We got to get these like button numbers up with these Blue Jays games. Get more fans in the chat. You see what it does in those hockey games? Let's do the same thing here with the Blue Jays games. Thank you all for being here. If you're new, hit that subscribe button as well. Turn on that little bell so you get notified every single time we go live here on TSI. Thank you guys. We'll see you guys in the chat, and go Jays go.
Angels, Brewers at Reds, Astros at Tigers, Mets at Padres, Braves at Rays, and of course we also have the Phillies at the Orioles, and this is a fun one. Taijuan Walker, old pal, versus Grayson Rodriguez in the pitching matchup. 0s right now in Baltimore as this game is about to start, but we spoke about this last night. Kyle Bradish was taken out of last night's game following 5 innings pitched and 74 pitches. He was put on the IL with a right UCL injury, so a tough blow for an Orioles rotation that already has John Means and Tyler Wells done for the year. And in case you missed it, we also have the Team Canada roster for the men's national soccer team ahead of this week's Copa America tournament. Not a lot of surprises from the names you'll see, a lot of familiar faces, including Alphonso Davies. Toronto FC has Jonathan Osorio, Richie Lareya. The Whitecaps are sending Ali Ahmed, and FC Montreal is sending Samuel Piette and Mathieu Chouanier. Blue Jays baseball brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Back to the action. Here's Ben and Caleb.
Thank you very much, Show. Canada's own Zach Pop on the mound. First and second for the Guardians. 2 outs, 3-0 Blue Jays. Top of the third. Right on right, the pitch to David Fry. Sinker. Called the ball. Looked pretty good at the knees. 1-0. Pop, the third Blue Jays pitcher this inning, went to Meza to try to end the inning, but with 3 lefties faced, 2 soft hits after a flyout was induced. 1-0. Swinging a bouncing ball to third. Picked by Barger. He goes to the bag, steps on it, and ends the inning. 2 pitches for Pop to get the 1 out he needed. They leave 2 Cleveland Guardian runners on, and the Blue Jays lead 3-0, middle of the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's 24 hours of Le Mans.
They're waiting for the red light and the French tricolore to be waved, and we're racing at Le Mans.
And you can hear every thrilling moment on Sirius XM. For over 100 years, it's been one of motorsport's most prestigious and grueling tests of speed and endurance. We're bringing all 24 hours to you live as teams from around the world battle it out for one of the biggest prizes in racing. 24 hours of Le Mans, starting Saturday morning, 8:30 Eastern on Sirius 137 XM 202 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your Sirius XM subscription? What? Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on Sirius XM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. Sirius XM Sports. We're more than just a game.
The Busted Open podcast is now available on YouTube. This is Dave LaGreca, host of Busted Open, the #1 pro wrestling show on the planet. You can now watch and listen to the award-winning Busted Open podcast every single day on YouTube. Our best interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and some of our best content from the past. All available right now when you go to youtube.com/@BustedOpenPodcast. Subscribe right now.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
3-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the third inning at Rogers Center. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leading off against Carlos Carrasco. Welcome back to downtown Toronto. First pitch to Vlad is inside. He twists away. 1-0. Guerrero 0 for 1 today, a pop-up to second in the first. 0 for his last 18. Next pitch, down and away, 2-0. The batting average at .277 for Guerrero. Carrasco kicks and delivers. Swing and a ball off the handle. Bounce softly to short. Barehanded Rocchio throws on to first. Backhanded pick by Naylor. And Guerrero robbed of an infield hit there as Rocchio throws him out. Nice play by the Canadian at first, too.
Yeah, probably not the pitch and location you're looking for. 2-0 off of the crafty veteran Carrasco. It's a ball up and in, 88, that just totally handcuffs Guerrero. Full swing, full bouncer. Really nice play by Roki with the bare hand.
So one down. Here's Justin Turner, who started last inning for Toronto. He takes ball one. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth, encouraging you to step up for the home team and shop local. Timber Mart stores are family owned and operated and know the value in giving back to the communities they serve. Now more than ever, it's important to shop local. Next pitch to Turner, hit foul, 1-1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Caleb Joseph, Show Ali, our host, Nick Blackmore, our producer, Tom Young, Andrew Adams, our technical directors. It was a battle. First time these two faced off, went 9 pitches. Turner walked. 1-1 outside.
And I thought that set up the entire second inning, to be honest with you, Ben. That long, prolonged at bat. Varsho then has the double. Springer gets the single.
2-1 pitch. Down and in, 3 balls and 1 strike.
And I've heard a lot of people, the 8-pitch at bat that ends up in as an out doesn't do anything, but sometimes you can tire a guy out, and I feel like that might have contributed to that second inning.
3-1 pitch, called a strike right on the outside edge. And you predicted a full count every time they face today. You're 2 for 2 as it's a full count.
All right.
This is the 10th time that these two are seeing each other in their major league careers. 37-year-old deals to the 39-year-old, and it's fouled off. Turner is 2 for 5 in his career with a double and a homer against Carlos Carrasco. Hit that homer in 2021 when Carrasco was a Met, Turner was a Dodger. His walk in the second inning was Turner's 4th walk in 9 plate appearances that he's had off Carrasco.
Sometimes you just see guys better. Looks like Turner really kind of knows what he's looking for. He's kind of hobbling around right now as we're getting the replay of that foul ball right off the front left toe of Turner. He's got the shield on to protect the ankle and a little bit of the shin, but it doesn't protect the toe. Some of these guards have flaps that will continue on, and there's a second strap that gets to the toe, and I've been there before where you turn and burn on a pitch and it gets the top of the toe. And you know, the cleats nowadays, there's so much breathability and maneuverability inside the cleats that there's mesh, there's different types of material that sometimes when you hit it right on the toe, there's no protection. And he's really taking his time right now. And, you know, if it gets you on the nail, it can really hurt, or it can get you on the actual bone of the toe. It was square. It looked like the ball went right down to the left toe. He's trying to walk it off, but I can tell you right now, those can be very painful.
Still looks a little ginger as he walks back to the plate. Jose Ministral, John Schneider will head back into the Blue Jays third base dugout. Turner taps the inside part of the plate, back in the box. 3 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out, base is empty. 3-0 Blue Jays. The pitch. Fouled off. Looked all right there as he got around on a fastball on the outside edge and tipped it into the netting. That was the 7th pitch, by the way, that Turner has seen in this at-bat. Carrasco brings his glove up to his face, 3-2 again. Swinging a bouncing ball, hit softly to short. More routine play for Rocchio, who grabs it and throws over to first for the second out. So here's Dalton Varsho with 2 down and the base is empty. And although a lot of different guys contributed to the 3-run second, Varsho really got that inning going after the Turner walk. He hit his team-leading 14th double of the season to put runners on second and third with nobody out. Would come around to score. First pitch, high and outside, ball one. Varsho, after a tough May, is starting to come around again in June. 1-0. Called strike. Entered today hitting .263 in June with 6 extra base hits. Now 7 extra base hits this month. Batting average at .219. 1-1. Swing and a miss. That's a fastball right down the middle. He swung through it 1-2.
He's been so good in this stretch of really getting to spin that doesn't finish underneath the zone, kind of cripple mistake breaking balls. It's exactly what he did on that double.
1-2 pitch is hit in the air, center field. Tyler Freeman in the shadow of the dome makes a two-handed catch and ends the inning. 1-2-3 frame for Carrasco. After 3 innings, it's 3-0 Blue Jays at Rogers Center. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This is Kendall Rogers from D1 Baseball. Right now, we're breaking down the College World Series from every angle on the D1 Baseball podcast on the Sirius XM Podcast Network. Find out who will be standing tall in Omaha with me, Mike Rooney, Aaron Fitt, and Joe Healy all week long.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, this is a big mismatch. I mean, the talent discrepancy is huge.
It's college baseball at its best. To hear the D1 Baseball podcast today, plus exclusive SEC and ACC content, search D1 Baseball on the Sirius XM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey everyone, it's Brian Geltzeiler from SiriusXM NBA Radio. The NBA draft begins on June 26th, and we're your home for all the action. Hear nonstop coverage on all our shows.
Mark it down. That guy is going to be a star in this league.
Exclusive interviews.
We are now joined by Bronny James.
I just found happiness in what I'm doing right now, and I feel like that's where I want myself to be at.
And every pick on the big night.
With the first pick.
Your home for the 2024 draft is NBA Radio, Channel 86, and the all-new SiriusXM app. Just search NBA Radio.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
6 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Iowa Corn 350, powered by ethanol from Iowa Speedway. Yeah. On SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90, in the car, and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Yeah. Get closer to everything that moves you, wherever you are, with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yes!
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90 Network.
It's the 4th inning presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. 3-0 Blue Jays, and Bowen Francis is into the game to start the 4th. The guy expected to pitch a bulk of the innings today for Toronto. His pitch to Josh Naylor, called strike 1 on the inside edge. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Caleb Joseph. Blue Jays used 3 pitchers before getting to Francis. Righty winds his 0-1. Swing and a chopper right side. Francis just misses it. Barehanded by Guerrero, and he bounces it off the ankle of Naylor. Naylor is safe, but that one could have gotten away for some trouble. At least in this instance, Naylor is just at first.
Yeah, Jay's really fortunate that that ball does hit Naylor. One of those kind of tweener plays, a swinging bunt that Vlad Guerrero Jr. being as deep as he is at his position, the only play is for Bowen Francis to kind of make a direct V-line from the pitcher's mound over to first base. He goes to make the play, and it's just behind him. Horwitz has no shot. Vladdy tries to pick it up and really throw backwards, but can't get the angle.
First pitch to Tyler Freeman, the center fielder, called strike 1. Due to the tough nature of that play, they rule it a base hit for Naylor. He's now 2 for 2. Mississauga native leading off first. Right on right, the 0-1 to Freeman. Fastball zips in at 94. Borderline pitch called outside. Looked pretty good on the outside edge.
Yeah, come on, Chad. Got to have that one. Right on the edge.
Francis kicks and delivers, and it's fouled back off the backstop. 94, a little bit more over the plate, outside third that time. 1-2.
Yeah, going back to Bowden's last start in Oakland, I think the pitch that I was most intrigued with was the split finger. I'm only throwing it about 19% of the time to left-handed batters. Of course, there's quite a few lefties in the Guardians lineup. Wondering if that's going to be a factor.
1-2 breaking ball popped up behind the plate. Jansen in a scramble leans into the netting. It bounces into the first row and pops way back into the seats. That splitter in his last start, he threw it 7 times, was the second most he's used it this season. Ended up going 4 scoreless innings against the A's.
I think that's what you're trying to balance as a catcher, is knowing it's a newer pitch, knowing that you're trying to put up zeros, you're trying to have success. When do you work it in? When do you use it? When do you go for it? Can you set it up correctly?
3-2. Down, apparently looked pretty good again. That was the splitter. A bit of an awkward receive, but that looked pretty good. It's 2-2.
And those are the hardest pitches to block. You got to really be block heavy. When you get one that doesn't finish, they're tough to frame as well.
2-2 pitch hit foul to the right. Freeman takes a walk out of the box. Josh Naylor turning around to Sandy Alomar Jr. And now signs being given from third by Rouglas Odor. Francis in the set, kicks and delivers. Missed inside with a curveball. It's a full count. Tyler Freeman is 0 for 1 today, popped out to second, back in the second inning. 3-2. Swing and a soft bouncer to third. Charging in Barger, gloves, whips it over to first. That was his only play. He retires Freeman. Naylor moves up to second. 1 out. That one really beat into the ground, and so Naylor, who got a pretty good break from first base, was too close to second for Barger to take a shot. Infield shifts over to the right side as the left-handed hitting Will Brennan is up. 3-0 Blue Jays, top of the fourth, the pitch. Swing and a ball hooked on the ground to first. Guerrero picks it up. He'll race over to the bag, beat Brennan for the second out. Naylor moves up to third. Now 2 outs. Guardians looking for their first run of the day. They scored 3 times yesterday, in the second, in the fourth, and in the fifth. They have 4 hits in this game, but they've left all of the previous 3 guys on. Here's Daniel Schneemann, rookie who struck out in the second inning, batting here in the fourth with a runner on third, 2 down. Schneemann called up on June 2nd with Jonathan Rodriguez sent down, who was struggling. Rodriguez actually back up with the Guardians today. Right on left pitch. Called strike 1. Schneemann, a 33rd rounder in 2018 by Cleveland out of BYU. He was the 1,003rd overall pick. 0-1. Just outside.
Wow. That is... Does that round even exist anymore? Is it what, doesn't. 25 now?
It's 20 now.
20 rounds. Wow.
There is a 31st rounder in Kevin Kiermaier out in center field for the Blue Jays. 1-1. In the dirt, 2-1. Schneemann, a guy who played at BYU, had 2 pretty good seasons to start, hit 300, and then in his third year, just didn't have a great year, hitting the 230s, not a lot of power. Could have gone back to school, but decided to sign with Cleveland, and it's worked out so far. 2-1. Swing and a foul off into the 500 level, or actually into the 400 level boxes off to the left. It's 2-2.
Yeah, it's a very simple setup from Schneemann. It's a very simple load. Just hands are very quiet. The left-handed batter holds his hands right above the left shoulder, and as the pitch comes, just a very simple step. Not a ton of movement, but a good, nice plane when he swings.
2-2 cut on and missed. Strike 3. He gets him on the splitter. And for Bowen Francis, a scoreless first inning of work. Middle of the fourth, 3-0. The Blue Jays lead the Guardians. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bring it
it in, Canada. When it comes to small business, Desjardins is a big fan. And not just the hop on the bandwagon fan. We're the in it for the long haul fan. The fan that's been there from the start. That's why Desjardins awarded 150 entrepreneurs with Good Spark grants worth $20,000 each. Because like any fan, there's nothing we love more than celebrating a goal!
See how Desjardins is cheering on small business at goodsparkgrants.ca.
Our core values: equality, respect, the pursuit of greatness. Through and through, this is who we are.
Be at the ballpark to experience a proud tradition. Canada Day, Monday, July 1st. The first 15,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays Canadian tuxedo hat giveaway. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Proud to the core. Canadian to the core. Blue Jays to the core.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit ConnexOntario.ca.
Hey, this is Danny Jansen. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the fourth inning in downtown Toronto, 3-0. The Blue Jays leading the Guardians. Welcome back to Rogers Center. George Springer leading off. Carlos Carrasco's first pitch, down and away, 1-0. Springer 1 for 1 today. An RBI single in the second opened the scoring. His fifth hit in 19 at-bats against Carrasco career. 1-0. Called strike. Toronto would score 3 in that second, but Carrasco has retired everyone he's seen in the first and third around him. 1-1 pitch down and away. Infield shifted to the pull against Springer. Outfield straight up. Sun covering most of the carpet. 2-1. Fouled off 2-2. You do see shade, though, streaking from left center to right center. Springer back in. Barger on deck. Kiner Falefa behind him. Carrasco looks down, now beyond third, the 2-2. Just inside. Good take by Springer. Full count.
I think one of the more encouraging things I saw from Springer's first at bat is with runners at second and third, the infield in, he was on time and ready to hit the fastball. Yeah, granted it was only 91, 92 miles an hour, but I really feel like that's a key for Springer. Can he get on it, stay on it, be ready to hit it?
3-2 pitch hit off to the right. A fastball spoiled on a line into the seats.
And when you look at the struggles, you look at like the video, at least I do, and I watch the sequences and I watch the swing and the parts of the swing. There's nothing that is an outlier in terms of, okay, he's not getting this because he's making a move here or a move there.
3-2. Check swing. Pitch was inside, and that'll be ball 4. 30th walk of the season for Springer, second on the team to Vlad.
I just feel like sometimes it's mindset, and they say the body follows the brain. And some people might say, well, he's getting older and he's losing some bat speed and he's not able to catch up to it. I firmly disagree. I firmly believe that if you put a pitching machine out there and you said, hey, we're going to throw it 100 miles an hour, can George Springer hit it? There's no doubt about it. So I think a lot of it's mindset.
Throw over to first, Springer back in. That's Caleb Joseph. I'm Ben Schulman. Show Ali, our host today. Nick Blackmore, producer. Tom Young and Andrew Adams, our technical directors. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Runner on first. Nobody out. Right on left pitch. Barger pounds the ball into the ground right side. Long run at second. Jimenez comes up with it, spins and throws to first from the right field turf to get Barger. That is a phenomenal play by the two-time Gold Glover. Springer up to second, but one out.
It's going to go down just as a normal 4-3, but Jimenez running almost backwards towards the right field foul pole, stretches out. The ball's almost behind him. He grabs it. And I think some of the hardest parts of those plays is the finish, being able to turn around, make a strike to first. He does it, puts it right in Naylor's chest.
First pitch to IKF. It's called strike one. I mean, you draw randomly from a bag of Major League second basemen. Maybe one or two other guys make that play.
I agree. Great jump. It takes a lot of anticipation, a very quick first step.
Springer on second, bouncing around. Carrasco stares at him. Now the 0-1. Swing and a line drive. Center field, base hit. Springer around third, he gets the wave. Throw to the plate from Freeman. Bounces in late. Springer with a head first dive. It's 4-0 Blue Jays on IKF's RBI single.
I'll tell you what made that play happen. It's a line drive right over the head of Jimenez, but what made that play possible was a tremendous read at second base by George Springer. This is kind of a soft liner. It's in that tweener stage. If you freeze, if you're not 100% sure, you're not going to be sent by Carlos Fablis, but Springer right out the gate gets the read. He recognized it was going to carry. That allowed Fablis to send him in the run score.
First pitch to Kevin Kiermaier, outside 1-0. Second run scored by Springer today, 27th RBI of the season for Kiner Falefa, who now has 10 RBIs in his last 10 games. Next pitch to Kiermaier, hit on one hop to second. Coming up with it, Jimenez throws to second. They get the out, dropped on the transfer by Rocchio. They would have had a double play there almost certainly, even with the speed of Kiermaier. The Blue Jays catch a break. Fans don't like it because they thought he dropped the ball, but it was on the transfer.
It was on the transfer, and the speed of the ball will dictate how quickly you're going to have to get that transfer going. It was sharply hit to second base. Plenty of time for Roki to really take his time, but he got a little bit too quick, tried that really fast transfer instead of securing it correctly. Blue Jays benefactor of that play.
First pitch to Spencer Horwitz, hit on the ground to second. Picked up by Jimenez. He'll throw over to first, a little more routine there to end the inning. Toronto comes up with another run, though. RBI single by Isaiah. Kiner Falefa knocks in George Springer. One left on. It's 4-0 Blue Jays after 4. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Because y'all means all.
Y'all means all.
This Pride Month, celebrate country music's trailblazers.
And the next generation of loud and proud country artists. Sirius XM, Country Pride.
Now on Channel 105 for a limited time.
And all month long on the Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues. Right now on Channel 87.
Aaron Judge drills a 3-run home run.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to our all-time fantasy baseball draft to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts. Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Nobody covers the National Football League like Sirius XM NFL Radio. Mahomes fires it late for the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Stay updated with the latest news leading up to training camps.
We don't care about expectations. Talk doesn't win games.
Our panel of experts is getting you ready for the 2024 season.
The more I watch this guy, the more I like him.
There's a story for every team on Sirius XM NFL Radio, Channel 88 in the car, and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
In season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is Sirius XM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of 5 in Toronto, 4-0 Blue Jays over Guardians. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Caleb Joseph. Thanks so much for joining us today. Bowen Francis into the wind. His first pitch to Brian Rocchio, low, 1-0. We're in the 5th inning, which is brought to you by Desjardins Financial Group. Desjardins awarded another 150 grants worth $20,000 each to entrepreneurs across Canada. See how Desjardins cheered on small bids at goodsparkgrants.ca. Next pitch down and in. 2-0 is the count now. Francis to Rocchio. Blue Jays with an add-on run in the bottom of the 4th. George Springer came in on the Isaiah Kiner Falefa single. 2-0 to Rocchio. Is popped up left side, hooking or slicing rather, and into the seats. 2-1. Do you think that run does a lot for Bowen Francis, Caleb?
Oh, absolutely. It's almost like you read my mind. I was just about to say, you get a 4-run lead, you can really get out there and throw and pump strikes in there.
Right on cue, a curveball drops in to make it 2-2.
Knowing you have some margin for error, I think it's huge, especially in kind of an opener situation, to get the lead, start to tack on, add on, so that when Francis comes in, he's got a margin.
Next pitch outside, 3-2.
Because I think one of the worst things you can have is a tie game where Francis is coming in out of the bullpen, and right out the gate, he's expected to kind of throw up zeros. And of course, that's his job.
3-2 is hit on the ground to short, picked up by Kiner Falefa. Crow hops throw overhand to first in time, 1 out.
But having a 4-0 lead, it just changes the entire dynamic. It changes how you're going to call certain pitches. It changes the way you're going to be aggressive with certain hitters. It changes the sequences. It really does a lot of things to put him into the best possible situation to succeed. You can lean on some pitches early, save some later, but if you come in the game and it's a 0-0 game, you're so hesitant, knowing the struggles of the offense, to give up a single run.
First pitch to Bo Naylor, misses outside, 1 ball and no strikes. 1 out, base is empty. 4-0 Blue Jays, top of the 5th. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, big win for the Phillies yesterday in 11 innings. They beat the Orioles 5-3, and Phillies starting it early today in Baltimore. First, the 1-0 is hit high and deep down the left field line, but out of play, 1-1. Phillies with a run in the first inning against the Orioles. Alec Bohm with an RBI double off Grayson Rodriguez. Then Edmundo Sosa, the infielder, would hit his 5th homer of the season in the second. It's 2-0 Philadelphia over Baltimore on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. 4-0 Toronto in Toronto. Francis winds, 6-5 righty pitches, and it's fouled off the glove of Jano, 1-2. Bo Naylor DH'd yesterday for the Guardians, catching today, and that's where he had a lot of his prospect cachet, what he does behind the plate as a young catcher. 1-2. Swing and a miss. No, it's foul tipped, and then it went into the ground. Jansen thought they had a drop third strike instead. Naylor stays alive. But on Naylor as a catcher, he hasn't played a ton of baseball so far. He's considered by StatCast to be in the 90th percentile as a framer and above average as a blocker of the baseball as well.
Yeah, had a big block in that first inning. He looks really solid behind the plate.
1-2, fouled off.
You can just tell watching a youngster's movements behind the plate, the quietness that they have, the ability to set up, you have a good target. You can just tell by the movements that they're really comfortable, and a lot of times that just comes naturally. Stephen Vogt, I'm sure manager of the Guardians, has something to do with that.
1-2 pitch is hit off the handle, foul behind the plate. Naylor, the 29th overall pick in 2018.
Having quite an AB here, too. Fouled off some really tough pitches. That was 95 up and in, staying alive with 2 strikes.
0 for 1 today. The 1-2. Down 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is where they're still waiting for it to turn a little bit. Naylor hitting 176 on the year, 3 homers. I imagine it's tough, though, to focus on your offensive game as a young catcher.
Very much so.
2-2. Swing and a fly ball down the left field line. Moving to the corner is Varsho just in front of the track. He stops and makes the catch. 2 down.
Yeah, I'll never forget being called up to the big leagues for the first time. I walked into the manager's office and he said, listen, if you can't run the staff, if you cannot control the running game and call pitches, I don't care if you hit 500 going back down. So I immediately put all my attention and focus into running the staff and running the game. Hitting was secondary. It will come, much like it came for Adley Rutschman, but getting that defensive aspect down will really give you some length of career.
First pitch to Stephen Kwan, called strike 1 with 2 outs and the bases empty. 4-0 Blue Jays, top of 5. And you mentioned that. I mean, there's a mentor I asked Stephen Vogt about yesterday for Naylor in Austin Hedges in that Cleveland dugout, who's been a very talented defensive catcher for a long time. 0-1 pitch. Kwan with a check swing. Pitch was down and in, appeal to third. He went around. It's 0-2. Hedges returning to the Guardians this year, had a previous stint with Cleveland. Francis has retired 5 in a row, including 1 strikeout. He's ahead no balls and 2 strikes on Stephen Kwan, who asks for time. There are 2 outs, and the Blue Jays up 4-0 in the 5th. Francis kicks away some dirt from the rubber. Set at the belt, into the windup. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Just outside. Tried to throw the splitter and get Kwan to chase. Kwan's 1 for 2 with a single. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a chopper left side of the mound, just past Francis. Bare hand by Barger. Throw to first, bounces away and into the camera well. That will send Kwan to second. Barger tried to make a heroic play from third. Instead, it likely goes down as a hit and an error, and there's a runner in scoring position for Cleveland.
Yeah, up and away fastball that he kind of cue shots a little bit. Barger shifted over a little bit towards the shortstop position. He's kind of making that route to get around the baseball. He goes for the bare hand, and what I could see is that ball kind of rolled into the palm area, and as soon as you feel that ball in the palm, that's a really tough ball to keep directionally on line. Maybe you want to swallow that one.
First pitch to Andres Jimenez, high ball 1. They do rule it an infield single for Kwan, and then an error on the play. Both of Francis's hit allowed so far have been just choppers just past the mound out of his reach. Kwan on second. Francis staring back at him from the stretch. The pitch. Jimenez swings and misses at 92 above the zone.
Yeah, Bowden's, he's featuring some really nice stuff. I like the life on the fastball, really consistently in that 4 to 5 range miles per hour. Good split action.
He kicks and delivers. Fouled back. That'll make it 1-2.
Saw the stuff maybe 91, 93-ish in Oakland. Looks like his stuff is just really playing well in today's game. He's hitting his quadrants, like the break on the curveball, and really intrigued by this split. The more that I'm seeing it, the more that he's throwing it. It looks like he's gaining confidence. It looks like the action's getting better. You pair that with 95, you got something.
Here's 1-2. Through the splitter, missed outside. Pardon me, that was the slider. The one strikeout, though, for Francis today was on the split finger. 2 down, runner on second. 2-2 count, 4-0 Blue Jays, road half of the 5th. Jimenez rests the bat on his left shoulder. Looks at it, Francis. 2-2. Swing and a drive down the right field line. Deep, hooking, but foul. Into the 200 level, maybe 20 feet wide of the foul netting. That was a curveball that hung over the plate, and Jimenez got a lot of it.
Yeah, the change in speed is what allowed that ball to go foul. Jimenez one-handed kind of out in front.
2-2 again. Swinging a fly ball to left. Shallow for Varsho, who runs toward the sunlight and makes a one-handed catch to end the inning. A scoreless frame around the infield hit and error for Bowen Francis. He leaves Kwan on second, middle of the 5th. 4-0 Toronto. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM. We're back on the track Sunday,
6 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Iowa Corn 350, powered by ethanol from Iowa Speedway.
Yeah.
On Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90, in the car, and on the all-new Sirius XM app. Get closer to everything that moves you, wherever you are, with the Sirius XM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yes!
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, original specials, and much, much, much more. All baseball, every day, on your radio. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app. You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Hey, baseball fans, the 2024 NBA Draft begins on June 26th, and NBA Radio is your home for all the action. Your every pick on NBA Radio, Channel 86, and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Caleb Joseph. Bottom 5 in Toronto, 4-0 Blue Jays. Danny Jansen leads off for the Blue Jays, takes the first pitch low from Carlos Carrasco, 1-0. 3 in the second, 1 in the fourth for Toronto. And in the fifth, it's 2-3-4 in the order, starting with Jansen, the catcher. Carrasco kicks, delivers, and hits Jansen on the back. He flips the bat away, takes off his shin guard. He's all right, as it was a non-fastball that hit him in the back. Actually a 84-mile-per-hour changeup. Still hurts, but he's all right. He's headed down to first.
Yeah, he'll be all right. He's a catcher. He's tough. You never like wearing it, especially with the history that Jansen has of hit by pitches. Luckily, this one gets him more in the back, lower back, than anywhere around that hand area. Nowhere around the hands, please, for Danny Jansen.
First pitch to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., swing and a miss. Strike one. Guerrero 0 for 2 today. Almost lenked out an infield hit in the third, but now 0 for his last 19. Batting average at .275. The 0-1. Foul tip to breaking ball into the glove of the catcher Naylor. 0-2. Guerrero will ask for time and adjust his batting gloves. Last 4 games without a hit. Only the third time in his career he's gone 4 straight without a hit. He's never gone 5.
Wow.
You have to go back to 2022 for the last 4-game hitless streak. 0-2 pitch is bounced to the left side. Diving stop at short. Rocchio gets up, but he doesn't have a throw. And that will be a base hit for Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who claps to the sky, snapping the streak before it went to 0 for 20.
I mean, you could have said that like 2 days ago, Ben. You could have talked about the streak, and you could have talked about he's never done this before. Yeah, it's a sharply hit ball headed for left field. Pocchio, he actually... Did I just call him Pocchio?
Well, no. It was a poke to Rocchio.
Well, yes, it was a poke to Rocchio that he lays out. For some reason, Pinocchio got in my mind, and he's not Pinocchio. No, it's Rocchio. Sorry about that, folks.
First and second, nobody out. Here's Justin Turner. First pitch is called strike one. Good frame there by Naylor on a pitch that looked off the plate outside. Turner 0 for 1, a walk and a run scored. Has seen over 15 pitches in his 2 plate appearances so far. The 0-1. And that hit him. That's the second hit batter of the inning for Carrasco. Turner again appears to be all right, but Carl Willis is moving people out of his way in the Cleveland dugout. The pitching coach, veteran pitching coach for Cleveland, out to talk to Carrasco.
Yeah, 2 changeups in a row from Carrasco that he just hasn't finished. And when you don't finish that changeup, typically you've got kind of a 2-seam grip on the middle and ring finger of the pitching hand. And if you don't finish it, it's just going to kind of take off, act like a 2-seamer. It's left high to the arm side, runs right into the bicep of Turner, and out of nowhere the Blue Jays are cooking again. And I want to go back to that play with Vlad Guerrero Jr. It's a scalded ball headed for left field. But the reason that Rocchio has to kind of speed up is because Jansen at first base is hauling rear to get in there. If you're not getting a good read at first, if you're not really running hard, he can then corral it, take his time, fire to second base for the force out. But Jansen gets a great break on the grounder, really hustling to second, forces Rocchio to speed up just enough, which causes him to lose the handle and allow this whole big inning to really start up.
Guerrero now on second. Jansen's over at third after Turner was hit by a pitch. He's at first. Bases loaded, nobody out for Varsho. The pitch from Carrasco. Called low. Boy, that looked pretty good, but it's 1-0.
My goodness. I will tell you, Mr. Naylor's framing score is plummeting because of that pitch. That was a strike.
1-0. Swing and a ground ball hit up the middle to the second baseman Jimenez. Flips to second one, over to first, double play. Jansen comes in to score. That makes it 5-0 Blue Jays, but 2 outs for the Guardians. Up to third base is Guerrero. Let's take a look at the injury report, brought to you by Bergmanis Prera Personal Injury Lawyers. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count and call Bergmanis Prera Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Prera will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca. If you weren't with us earlier, calf soreness, right calf soreness for Bo Bichette is why he's not in the lineup today. First pitch to George Springer, chopped foul, 0-1. Springer aboard both times he's come up today. A hit and a walk, 1 RBI, 2 runs scored. Guerrero on third, 0-1. Down and away.
And for the record, Ben, I do think even if you're ground into a double play, you should get an RBI.
You think so?
I think it's the dumbest stat ever.
Yeah, Varsha will not get an RBI on that one. 1-1 inside.
I mean, do you drive him in or do you not drive him in?
What's the reception like in a dugout when you hit into a double play that brings a run in?
I mean, it's kind of a tap on the back. It's not a high five like you get with a sac fly, but you did a job.
2-1 pitch, called strike right at the bottom of the zone, 2-2.
Because the double play is the inning or rally killer, but at least you drove a run in. So it's kind of, hey, good job, man. Not like, hey, way to go, buddy.
2-2. In the dirt, full count. Well, you know, it is better than a strikeout in most cases.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, I didn't want to do a double play, but at least I didn't punch. At least I got a guy across, because if you punch and the next guy grounds into a double play, nobody scores. So, yes, I get it. It's a rally killer, but I think you should still get credit.
3-2, swing and a miss. Strike 3. Springer goes down. The Blue Jays do get one on one hit. They leave Vlad on third, and it's 5-0 Toronto after 5. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're 2menandtruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2menandtruck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2menandtruck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2menandtruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the Government of Alberta.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Hurts smacks it down the left field line. This one's got a chance. It's good!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center's 6th inning. Blue Jays and Guardians in Game 2 of this series. 5-0 Toronto leads. David Fry leading off for Cleveland. Takes the first pitch inside. 1-0. Bowen Francis on the mound for Toronto, palming up a baseball in his 3rd inning of work. He's allowed 2 infield hits, but that's all in 2 innings. His 42nd pitch of the day freezes Fry for strike 1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Caleb Joseph, Show Ali, our host, Nick Blackmore, producer, Tom Young, and Andrew Adams, our technical directors. Francis winds, 1-1. Called strike 2. Sped him up after the slow curve with the 93-mile-per-hour fastball and froze Fry again. Infield shifted to the pull. IKF deep in the hole at short. 1-2. Swinging a bouncing ball up the middle. Long run in. It'll get past Kiner Falefa into center field. A base hit. Second of the series for David Fry, and a leadoff hit here for the Guardians.
Yeah, 2-strike hit for Fry. Comes off of the splitter. This is kind of one of the splitters that just doesn't really split. Hangs up there, acts kind of like a BP heater. That is the shot that you're willing to take. And early on, when you're trying to figure this one out, it does have a mind of its own. You really want to miss below, especially with 2 strikes with that pitch.
Here's Josh Naylor. 2 hits already today in 2 tries. He takes the first pitch up. 1-0. Naylor does not have a 3-hit game yet this season. Batting .233 now. Bending his knees back and forth, left and right, the 1-0. Naylor freezes, takes strike 1, a curveball on the outside edge. It's been an interesting year for the Canadian first baseman. 17 homers, really impressive. Although since April, he's hit 185. 1-1. Low 2-1.
He is Canadian. Maybe he's a cold weather player.
It's possible.
It does get cold up there in Cleveland.
Had a career best 7 homers in a month in March, April for the Guardians. 2-1. Swing and a hard foul ball to the right, 2-2. Although in May, despite the average dropping, he beat his career best with 8 homers in a month in fewer days in May to get to 15 before the start of June.
Did you see that Cleveland is now playing above average in terms of home runs produced because of the changes that they, I think, inadvertently made in the outfield?
2-2. Swinging a bouncing ball up the middle. Gloved at second base. Horwitz throws to IKF1. Back to first. A double play. 4-6-3. Started by the new second baseman, Spencer Horwitz. It is interesting, though, with Cleveland, because I had quoted yesterday in reference to the starting pitcher, Logan Allen. You know, typically, if you look at 3 years, the last 3 years, it's been a well below average home run park. But it looks like that's changing in Cleveland.
There's some of the buildings up kind of around the third, maybe even like fourth deck in Cleveland that I think they were doing some changes, weren't finished with those changes.
First pitch to Tyler Freeman, down and away, 1-0.
And it looked like it opened up some airway or airflow or something, because the ball is now really flying to right field. I think some of those lefty hitters are loving that.
1-0 pitch, smacked on the ground, one hopper into left field, a base hit. Hard single for Freeman, who's around first and back to the bag with a 2-out knock. It's crazy what can impact a baseball game.
And we've dealt with this here at Rogers Center, right? The new dimensions. A lot of people were wondering if it was going to play more, play less, and there's been a ton of speculation. Roof open, roof closed. Is it flying? Is it not flying? I think there's so many different factors. There's got to be some science behind this. There has to be.
Pitch to Will Brennan, high, 1-0. 2 outs, runner on first, 5-0 Blue Jays, top of the 6th. And out to the mound goes Danny Jansen. That gives us a sec to look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Rays visiting the Braves, trying to bounce back after a tough loss yesterday. Early lead for Tampa Bay. Josh Lowe hit a sac fly off former Ray Charlie Morton to make it 1-0 Tampa Bay. Now in the bottom of the third in Atlanta. Other AL East games going on. 2-0 still for the Phillies over the Orioles, although the Orioles have 2 on, nobody out, bottom of the third. And at 7:15 tonight, the Yankees visit the Red Sox for the second game of that series. Big leadoff first for Freeman. Francis in the set, the 1-0. Swinging a foul off by Brennan. Lefty hits it to his left and into the 200 level. Will Brennan 0 for 2 today, although he had 2 big extra base hits yesterday for the Guardians, scored 2 of the 3 Cleveland runs. Next pitch fouled back, it's 1-2. Brennan had gone from no extra base hits in 16 games to a double and came around to score for the first Guardians run yesterday and then a homer in the 4th. First time he hit 2 extra base hits in a game since late April. 1-2 pitch. Swinging a fly ball foul down the left field line.
Yeah, the barrel is in the zone for a while with Brennan, and you could just kind of tell that he's seeing the ball really well. And isn't it weird how sometimes you get to a certain spot, a certain batter's eye, a certain feel, certain opponent, and you just kind of lock it in. Looks like he's locked in right now.
1-2. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Had a hard line out to left field in the 2nd, back to Varsho all the way onto the track. Grounded out to first in the 4th. Runner on first with 2 down. Francis at 55 or 56 pitches rather. His 2-2. Swing and a liner center field. Kiermaier starting back, comes in into his left, makes the catch, and ends the inning. 2 hits, but no runs for the Guardians. They leave 1 on, and the Blue Jays lead 5-0, middle of the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Today on Sirius XM Sports.
Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final. Can the Panthers close out the sweep and clinch their first cup in franchise history? Or will Edmonton send the series back to Sunrise? Getting you set for puck drop from Rogers Place at 8 Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Channel 91.
Sirius XM Sports. Wherever you are, your team plays here.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are on top of the women's college basketball world yet again.
Perfection for South Carolina. 38 games, 38 wins.
We're reacting to the perfect season and talking to the biggest names right here on Channel 374.
Congratulations, Coach Saley. What does this particular title mean to you?
This title is pretty special because it was unexpected.
Keep it locked into Sirius XM SEC Radio as we continue to break it all down and celebrate the Gamecocks' 3rd national title.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your Sirius XM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on Sirius XM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. Sirius XM Sports. We're more than just a game. Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Caleb Joseph. Shoali, our host, Nick Blackmore, our producer, Tom Young and Andrew Adams, our technical directors. New pitcher for Cleveland. The lefty Tim Herron is on. Bottom of the 6th inning, 5-0 Blue Jays. Left on left, the pitch to Addison Barger. Down and away, ball 1. 32nd appearance of the year for Herron, an ERA at 1, and a whip below 1. 1-0. Down and away, 2-0. We saw how tough this Cleveland bullpen was yesterday. Allowed just 1 base runner and 4 scoreless. 2-0. Called strike 2 and 1. And Herron's real funky turns way around before coming to the plate. Lefty twists and deals. Swing and a soft chopper to third. Charging infield and chest high by Schneemann. Throw to first beats Barger by half a step. 1 down. I mean, I wouldn't go the full way, but There's a little like Louis Tion in that delivery as he looks at second base.
Yeah, there's a comp here. It's in the brain. It's going to come out. Lefty, the way he turns, the way he kind of breaks his hands. It'll come to me in just a second, but it's a unique windup.
First pitch to IKF outside, 1-0.
And that kind of stuff makes it more difficult to pick up the release point where it's coming out, where you're looking lane-wise.
1-0 pitch drops in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Herron throws a curveball most often, but has a mid-90s fastball and a slider as well. His 1-1. Swinging a hot shot. Dive at short, knocked down by Rocchio, but it squirts into left field for a base hit. 2-hit day for Kiner Falefa.
Yeah, 103 off the bat of Kiner Falefa. Just pulls this kind of outside fastball. Rocchio gets a great jump and fully extends, and it's just off the tip of the webbing. Would have been a highlight reel play, but IKF in with a single.
Rocchio really makes you earn it over there at short. IKF on first. Herron, the lefty, delivers to Kevin Kiermaier, who swings and misses. 0-1. 5-0 Blue Jays, bottom 6. Kiermaier under the Mendoza line after going 0 for 2 to start his day. The 0-1. Swing and a looping ball headed to shallow center. Rocchio backpedaling out there. The shortstop reels it in the shade. There are 2 down. Shade coming across the field as the sun changes position in downtown Toronto. So buildings casting a shadow from left to kind of up the middle a little bit on the second base side of second. 2 down. Runner on first. Tim Herron, the lefty reliever, in his first inning of work. Now faces the top of the order. He gets a third left-handed hitter this inning. It's Spencer Horwitz. IKF on first. Step and throw over. IKF dives back. Day of Carlos Carrasco, the Cleveland starter, is over. 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Really burned by a 3-run second from Toronto. Here's the pitch. Called strike 1. What do you think the Blue Jays did to Carrasco today that helped them put 5 on him?
Well, I think the at-bats of Turner really started that second inning. They were patient enough to really get it going.
0-1 pitch hit on the ground to second, picked up by Jimenez. Gloves throws to first and ends the inning. 1 hit for the Blue Jays, but no runs. IKF left on first. 5-0 Toronto through 6. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
So Blue Jays fans, you want to know about salsa? Salsa is more than dancing. It's more than music. Salsa is the passion and spirit that is at the core of the beautiful cultures of Latin America. The Blue Jays are bringing salsa to the ballpark on June 27th. Be one of the first 15,000 fans in attendance and receive a Blue Jays chip and dip bowl. Celebrate salsa and create core memories with your Blue Jays. It's salsa night. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com. Right, Vladdy?
Everybody salsa.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Vladdy rocks the ball to left field. The Blue Jays have gone back-to-back.
Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of 7 in Toronto, and Bowen Francis will work into a 4th inning for the Blue Jays. 5-0 Toronto leads. Bottom third of the order up right now for Cleveland. The pitch to Daniel Schneemann, the third baseman. Down and in, ball 1. Thanks so much for sticking with us here on your Saturday afternoon. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Caleb Joseph. Into the wind, Francis kicks and fires. Swinging a liner, speared on one bounce by Horwitz. Comes up, throws to first, and he's looking pretty comfortable at the new position over at second. 1 down.
Yeah, he is. That was kind of a tweener hop. He was able to snag it, turned a nice 4-6-3 double play. Really in between hop, able to corral it, make that spin, defeat IKF. He's made a couple catches moving towards right field. He's looked comfortable, and that's not easy. Going to a new position right out of the gate in the big leagues.
First pitch to Brian Orocchio is hit high and deep down the right field line, but that will get foul into the seats. For Horwitz, that ball was hit 103 miles an hour at him, and he picked it.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things in terms of separating AAA and the big leagues is just the speed of the game. Yes, guys are throwing the same speed, but at which the ball is put into play, the action in between
a 1-pitch low, 1-1.
The plays, that is the difference. And knowing the internal clock, and that's one of the biggest things you're trying to learn as you're moving positions, is not only does the speed of the game pick up from AAA to the big leagues, but a different position as well.
1-1, down and in, 2-1. Horwitz used those exact words, internal clock, when talking about his transition from second to first. Whereas at first he was just focused on getting his body in front of the ball. At second now he's got to think about how quickly he's got to get rid of it. 2-1 is hit in the air, deep right center. Kiermaier going back, has room in front of the track, turns, makes the catch. 2 outs.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. At first base, I was just always taught, just tackle it and then go touch first base. But at second base, especially kind of on that 4-6-3 double play he had from Naylor, the speed of the ball, the speed of the runner, he had to corral it. He had to kind of take a drop step, be able to feed a strike. A lot of times you're trying to figure out where you are at in the diamond, if you're going to shovel past that, if you're going to underhand it, spin, jump, throw. Those are all kind of intuitive plays. He's made the right call each time so far.
Speaking of Nailers, Bo Naylor takes the first pitch outside, 1-0. 2 down, top of the 7th. Genesis Cabrera is up and warming for the second straight inning, but Francis has been quick here so far in the top of the 7th. Bases are empty. His 65th pitch of the day is down and in, 2-0. Five 0 Blue Jays. 3 in the second, 1 in the fourth, and 1 in the fifth. 2-0 pitch. Naylor foul tips it into the glove of Jansen, 2-1. Left-handed hitter steadies his helmet and brings his tan bat onto his left shoulder. 2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2. 93 at the top of the zone. 2-3-4 coming up for the Blue Jays after the 7th inning stretch. Jansen, Guerrero, and Turner will hit. Francis kicks and delivers. Called strike 3, 95 on the inside edge. That completes 4 scoreless innings for Bowen Francis. The Blue Jays take a 5-0 lead to the stretch. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep. Because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
The hardest work should lead to the best quality of life. If you're a skilled trades worker, you might not be feeling that way right now. But in Alberta, skilled trades workers can earn more, save more, and live more with better wages and a lower cost of living. Visit albertaiscalling.ca to learn more about the $5,000 moving bonus for the first 2,000 skilled trades workers who move to Alberta, stay for a year, and successfully apply. A message from the Government of Alberta.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike three. He keeps this game tied
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 7th inning in downtown Toronto, the Blue Jays trying to even up this 3-game set against the Cleveland Guardians. They're up 5-0 right now at home. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left is Caleb Joseph. Pedro Avila, the right-hander, into the game for Cleveland. Gets into the wind and deals the first pitch to Danny Jansen. Slow breaking ball, called strike one. For Avila, his 17th appearance of the season, a 4.5 ERA, just above that. Righty steps back, kicks, fires, and Jansen takes in the dirt. Mid-90s four-seamer, change, curve, a little bit of a sinker, a little bit of a sweeper. Bearded righty, looking in at Jansen. Here's the 1-1. Swinging a pop-up behind the plate. Headed toward us, but it'll drop into the seats in front of the booth. 1-2.
So last inning we were talking about Tim Herron, the big lefty with kind of the unique turn. It came to me, Ben. Tony Watson, the left-hander, Pittsburgh Pirate.
1-2, low, 2-2.
The way that Watson would kind of come set and the way that he broke his hands, he would kind of pull his throwing hand, the left hand out of the glove and kind of do this crisscross motion before he threw the ball.
Chris LaRue teammate, Tony Watson.
Oh, wow.
2-2. Up and in. Jansen down to a knee as he ducked out of the way. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Watson, an all-star in 2014, was a really successful reliever for, the 2010s. 3-2 pitch. Low ball 4. Jansen gets on for the second time today. He leads off the bottom of the 7th with a walk. Here comes Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Yeah, see if the Jays can kind of continue this trend. They got the leadoff hitter on in the 2nd. That was the Turner walk. The leadoff walk to Springer in the 4th. That ended up scoring, and then Jansen was hit in the 5th. He ended up scoring. See if they can kind of continue this pressure, continue to mount, add more runs.
Avila peeks over his shoulder, pitches to Guerrero, who takes a fastball for strike 1. Blue Jays up 5-0. Packed house at Rogers Center, an energized crowd after a quiet 3-1 loss yesterday. Runner on first and the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a fly ball right field. Freezes Brennan, now moving in and toward the line, will make the catch. 1 down. Let's look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Philadelphia was up 2-0 on Baltimore earlier on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Orioles have tied it up. Adley Rutschman with a sacrifice fly. Anthony Santander with his 16th home run of the season. And it's 2-2 in the 5th on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard.
Santander. Been such a surprise. He was Rule 5'd when I was with the Orioles and
from Cleveland.
Yeah.
First pitch to Justin Turner, fouled off 0-1.
And you could see the potential there. Switch hitter, you could kind of see the movements, but he was put on the IL, kind of the phantom IL, because they didn't want to return him, but it wasn't good enough to kind of play on that team. But man, the Orioles stuck with him, and he has really turned into a massive piece to that puzzle.
0-1. Turner hooks it foul on a line. Nice catch on the one hop by the attendant down the left field line.
It's about the third play he's made in the last 2 games, and slick pair of hands over there. He's active. He's ready. It's a tricky hop. It kind of catches him in between. He kind of sucked that glove back right by the belt. Takes a drop step. Great form.
Looks like a player. Good
yeah.
stats. 1 out, the 0-2. Is stroked on the ground up the middle. This could be 2. Picked up by Rocchio. Shortstop steps on the bag, leaps over the slide of Jansen and throws to first for a nice 6-3 inning-ending double play. Leadoff walk does not come in to score for the Blue Jays, but after 7, they're still leading 5-0. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rush Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Nobody covers the National Football League like SiriusXM NFL Radio.
Mahomes fires it late for the end zone. Caught! Touchdown!
Stay updated with the latest news leading up to training camps.
We don't care about expectations. Talk doesn't win games.
Our panel of experts is getting you ready for the 2024 season.
The more I watch this guy, the more I like him.
There's a story for every team on SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Hey everyone, it's Brian Geltzeiler from SiriusXM NBA Radio. The NBA draft begins on June 26th, and we're your home for all the action. Hear non-stop coverage on all our shows.
Mark it down. That guy is going to be a star in this league.
Exclusive interviews.
We are now joined by Bronny James.
I just found happiness in what I'm doing right now, and I feel like that's where I want myself to be at.
And every pick on the big night.
With the first pick.
Your home for the 2024 draft is NBA Radio, Channel 86, and the all-new SiriusXM app. Just search NBA Radio.
Happy Father's Day from Fans for the Cure. We want to send a quick reminder to all men 40 and over to get screened for prostate cancer. It's a simple blood test for a disease that has a 99% cure rate when it's caught early. Please help keep your fathers, grandfathers, uncles, brothers, and friends in the game. We need to make sure the men we love get a PSA blood test for prostate cancer. For more information, go to fansforthecure.org. That's fansforthecure.org.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's Holy Grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to SiriusXM FC 157.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Caleb Joseph. 5-0, the Blue Jays lead the Cleveland Guardians going to the 8th inning. Yoenis Cabrera in the game for Toronto to take on the top of the order, ending the day of Bowen Francis, the bulk guy who went 4 innings, gave up 4 hits, no runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. What did you think of Francis, Caleb?
Outstanding. I loved his stuff. I loved the fastball. It had really good velocity. Continued maturation of the split was huge for me, and I really love the downward action on that curveball. A lot of weapons. I love that he's defensible, if that's a word, Ben, against left-handed hitters. And I really like what he showed. He's really wanting to be that 5th starter, trying to really win a job and be the everyday kind of 5th bulk guy that the Blue Jays are looking for.
Cabrera starts Stephen Kwan off with a strike, left on left. Here's the pitch. Foul tipped off the glove of Jansen. 0-2. 28th appearance of the year for Cabrera. ERA just below 5. 16 strikeouts, 13 walks in just under 26 innings. Second straight night that we see Yoenis Cabrera, who went an inning and 2/3 scoreless yesterday. 0-2. Low and away. That was the cutter that missed at 90. Kwan's 2 for 3, raised his batting average to .382. 1-2 pitch. Bounce to the plate, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cabrera steps on the rubber, brings the glove to his chest, and now tucks the ball in there. He twists and deals. Swinging a liner, headed to right, make it a 3-hit day for Kwan as it one-hops into the glove of Springer.
That's so impressive to watch a left-hander on left-hander at bat. That you have high velocity, a bit of a sprayer in Cabrera with the 96, and watch a left-hander stay in there and not bail and not cheat to the inner half, exposing themselves to the out half. Kwan just stays nice and quiet, keeps the front shoulder square, is able to really drive that up and in pitch. So impressive.
Kwan dangling his arms, leading off first, and here's the pitch to Andres Jimenez. Another left-on-left matchup. Cutters up and in, ball one. 5-0 Toronto, a runner on. Nobody out, top of the 8th. Cabrera is the 5th Blue Jays pitcher today. 1-0. Swinging a bouncing ball to short. Backing up IKF. Throws to second one. Horwitz will eat it. He was falling away from first. A lot of speed in Jimenez. So it's a fielder's choice ground ball. Kwan retired. Jimenez safe at first. Now 1 out.
Really smart play by IKF. He shifted over, and so that ball takes him to his backhand. A very easy play to kind of speed up and really try and get the double play. And the speed of the ball, the speed of the runner dictated that you just really want to secure that out at second base. They did it perfectly.
And pardon me, actually a defensive change for the Blue Jays. So that was Davis Schneider, who's now in at second base in the place of Spencer Horwitz. Swing and a miss by David Fry. Makes it 0-1. Wave starting at Rogers Center. 5-0 Blue Jays. 1 out, top of the 8th. Left on right the pitch. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. You can hear the grunt there from Cabrera. He missed, but it was 97.
Yeah, he is a man on a mission. There's no doubt about it. The last 2 or 3 outings, he looks like the intensity has picked up. He's really emptying the tank. I love it when that fastball gets into that 5 to 7 range.
Next pitch is hit on the ground to short. This could be 2. IKF flips to Schneider 1. Sidearm to first. Double play. The Blue Jays turn it to end the inning. A scoreless frame for a clapping Yenesis Cabrera. We go to the bottom of the 8th with the Blue Jays up 5-0. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care. I am by your side. Got a heart so big, on this you can rely. No mountains too tall for the strong boots to climb. I am by your side.
That was Desjardins Insurance, playing insurance with a heart so big it shows. Tune in for your auto and home coverage at desjardins.com/heart.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Barrios retires 7 in a row
on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 8th inning at Rogers Center. 5-0 Blue Jays over Guardians. Dalton Varsho leading off against Pedro Avila. First pitch outside, 1-0. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. 1-0 hit foul, 1-1. 5-0 the Blue Jays lead on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard. Still a 2-2 game. Baltimore and Philly still 1-0 Tampa Bay over Atlanta. Next pitch to Varsho, called strike 1 and 2. All of our out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Varsho today 1 for 3 with a double, a run scored. 1-2 pitch. Low. And he did hit a ground ball into a double play that scored a run in the 5th, but much to the chagrin of Caleb Joseph, does not get an RBI.
Stupid.
Here's the 2-2. Swing and a fly ball towering to shallow right center. Making the call for it, Will Brennan. He'll cut in front of the center fielder, Freeman, and squeeze it. 1 down.
A kilometer high, Ben.
Oh, yeah.
It was a kilometer high. Isn't it funny how much different the feel, how much different the vibe is here at Rogers Center when the Blue Jays score? It's like you can appreciate good pitching, you can appreciate great defensive plays, but nothing really gets the crowd growing like scoring runs.
First pitch to George Springer, down and away, ball 1. And it hasn't necessarily been big homers today or even really extra base hits. Only 1 extra base hit for the Blue Jays, but they've just chipped away, always had guys on base. 1-0 pitch is hit maybe 2 kilometers high. Back of second, back onto the right center field turf. Andres Jimenez makes the catch, 2 down.
Yeah, they've taken advantage of their opportunities. Leadoff walk in 2 of the 3 innings that they scored, a hit by pitch in the 3rd, so I guess technically 3 leadoff walks that end up scoring, and they pressured and they found a way with Carrasco to kind of get him boxed in, and they executed when they absolutely needed to, and then the crowd kind of got into it. You could feel their energy from the dugout. It was great.
First pitch to Addison Barger in the dirt, 1-0. Speaking of execution, Barger 1 for 3 today. He knocked in a run on a single in the 2nd, just sneaking a ground ball through a vacated hole of the shortstop on a hit and run. Next pitch to Barger in the dirt, 2-0. It was 1st and 3rd at the time when Barger came up in the 2nd. Springer took off from 1st. Rocchio moved over to 2nd for the stolen base, and Barger hit it right where Rocchio left. 2 balls and no strikes. 2 outs. Avila winds and offers. Low ball 3.
And as a young player in the big league, 2nd stint Barger is with the Blue Jays, you're looking for those results, and it might not be the hardest hit ball, but to kind of see one go through to get a hit, always good for the confidence.
Called strike on the 3-0. He was taken all the way. It's 3-1. Well, it took Barger 4 games to come up with his first major league hit, first time up. It took him 1 at-bat to come up with his 2nd major league hit in his 2nd time up. 3-1. Inside ball 4. He'll take his first major league walk and head down to 1st with 2 outs. The wave has started back up again. Briefly last inning, the wave started and went off in both directions.
Oh, wow.
It didn't end up, meeting again in center field, but it almost did. Here's Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, 2 for 2 today with an RBI single, also had a sac bunt. First pitch, called strike 1.
Yeah, speaking of that sac bunt, both runners ended up scoring on that play. I think a really underrated part of this game, that just harmless little sac bunt. Modern day analytics do not do that, but Blue Jays were able to capitalize.
1 pitch bounced, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And it wasn't an easy one either, Ben, because the Guardians were playing corners in. They had the shortstop moved over to 3rd, more of a wheel play. You had to really execute it, get it in the right spot. If Isaiah Kiner-Falefa bunts it hard to either one of those players, they're wheeling and throwing to 3rd.
1-1 pitches, smoke to 3rd, diving catch by the rookie Schneemann to end the 8th inning. Really nice play at the hot corner. The Blue Jays leave Barger on 1st after the walk, but they'll look to knot up this series when we return in the 9th. Nate Pearson entering for Toronto, 5-0. Blue Jays over Guardians. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Discover your next entertainment obsession with Audible and SiriusXM.
There is so much listening in our future.
From best-selling stories to fascinating nonfiction, hear excerpts of the hottest audiobooks across every genre.
Some horror and thrillers. And I'm taking the lighter route.
We'll take you closer to the biggest names with 2 brand new series, delivering in-depth interviews with today's most notable authors and audiobook recommendations and commentary from the experts. All available now on the SiriusXM app. Just search Audible.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio, every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
The most important person in sports is you, the fan.
Let me tell you something. I'm a real fan.
And your place for sports talk is Mad Dog Sports Radio, where your voice is heard all day long.
I couldn't wait to get into the truck, turn on 82.
Sharing the thrill of victory.
The joy, the jubilation. I can't stop smiling.
And the agony of defeat.
When is this franchise going to realize people really care about this?
Passionate sports fans call 888 Mad Dog 6.
You gotta love sports.
Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, or anytime on the SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
Yo Network.
Top of the 9th inning in Toronto. Welcome back to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Caleb Joseph. Show Ali, our host. Nick Blackmore, our producer. Tom Young and Andrew Adams, our technical directors. 5-0 Toronto. Nate Pearson is on to face 4-5-6 for the Guardians. Try and lock up a win. Righty kicks and delivers. First pitch breaking ball misses outside to Josh Naylor. 1-0. Pearson, a 6'6 right-hander. Makes his 28th appearance. 444 earned run average. Next pitch. Inside. Naylor dances out of the way. Skips across the plate. That was 99 down and in. It's the big fastball from Nate Pearson. He's got a curve and a slider. Was working on a splitter in spring as well, but has not used it. Righty sets at the chest. Here's his 2-0. Check swing, high fastball, appeal to third. He did not go around on 97. So it's 3 balls, no strikes. After Naylor, Tyler Freeman and Will Brennan due up. .30. High ball 4. 4-pitch walk to lead it off for Josh Naylor.
Yeah, the absolute last thing you want to see in a 5-0 game in the 9th is walks out of the bullpen, getting behind out of the bullpen. It's the only way that you can really, truly get into troubles when you start giving away free passes. I've always thought that if Pearson can locate the fastball, even at 96, 97, he can be incredibly effective versus kind of rearing back for that 101 and losing effectiveness. Got to zone it in, get ahead, work ahead right here.
First pitch to the pinch hitter, Kyle Manzardo. Called strike 1. That was a slider to get ahead. First strike of the appearance for Pearson. 5-0 Blue Jays. Naylor on first. Guerrero half holding him on. Right on left pitch. Outside. Manzardo, a rookie, and now his 29th game. Gonzalez pretty new when he walked to the plate. Chad Whitson asked him to turn around for his number, trying to figure out who he was.
Wow.
1-1. Outside, 2-1.
It's like spring training, right? The guy that comes up with the double ear flap, 87 with no name on the back because they just got the jersey from the big league camp or whatever. Yeah, freshie up here.
Manzardo lucky, though. He's got number 9 as a rookie. 2-1. Called strike. Locates the slider again to make it 2-2.
Yeah, that's a clubby that believes he might be around a bit. I remember having that as the barometer. If you get a high number, they don't think you're going to be around very long.
2-2. In the dirt. Jansen got a piece of it with the glove. Full count. Those roars, not because of the stop of Danny Jansen, but again, because of the clockwise wave that's going around Rogers Center, passing behind the third base dugout. All three levels involved, 1, 2, and 500 as it gets into left field. Runner on first, no outs. 5-0 Toronto, top of the ninth. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. How about 99 right down the middle? Beats Manzardo, 1 out.
Yeah, that's a way to get back on the horse for Pearson. You're just wanting to kind of get back in the zone. The stuff is really good. Guerrero Jr. comes over to tell Pearson he's going to play behind Naylor at first base, but whatever it takes, and that's what you're looking for as a catcher. Find that zone, find that area that can get them locked in, get them in that zone, and then start to expand after that.
First pitch to Will Brennan. Called strike one. Another fastball there that hits the zone at 98. Blue Jays have Jimmy Garcia working very slowly in left field in case things develop. 5-0 Toronto, 1 out and a runner on first. The 0-1. Swing and a pop-up off to our left and off the front facing of the 400 level, back down and off the bare hand of a fan in a red Blue Jays jersey in the 100 level. It's 0-2. Infield shifts to the pull for the left-handed hitter Brennan. 0-2 pitch. Outside. Outfield, on the other hand, is playing the opposite way. Kevin Kiermaier is close to left center, although George Springer's pretty straight away and right. 1-2. Off the handle, a looper just over the netting and into the seats. Guardians actually out-hitting the Blue Jays today, 8-7, but all singles for Cleveland, and they haven't strung a ton together. 5-0 Toronto, the 1-2. Swing and a high fly ball, shallow right field. Springer coming in, raises his hand to call off Kiermaier and makes the catch. 2 down. Last chance for the Guardians. Blue Jays are leading right now 5-0 with 2 outs in the top of the ninth. Daniel Schneemann, the rookie, in his 8th major league, or make it 9th major league game, at the plate. Naylor takes off on the first pitch, swing and a miss, strike one. Naylor up to second on defensive indifference. Toronto with a 3-run second off Carlos Carrasco, tacked on in the 4th and 5th. 0-1. Is hit in the air left field. Varsho circling toward the line, slows up, makes the catch, and the Blue Jays win the game. A strong day from the bats throughout and great pitching on a bullpen day. Toronto shuts out a top 5 offense in baseball, beating the Cleveland Guardians 5-0.
Yeah, great game. Solid, crisp baseball game outside of kind of the throw and error on an infield hit from Barger. There was a lot to like. That execution all over the place. You loved what you got from Richards to start the game. Pop comes in, gets out of the jam. Bowen Francis, wow, what an outing. The Blue Jays were able to score some runs, gave those pitchers a lot of breathing room. The fans were excited to see some offense. Great defense. That's exactly how John Steiner and the Blue Jays really wanted to draw it up today and from here on out. The hardest thing to do is to repeat it, but they played a really nice baseball game and are winners in today's second game.
They'll force a rubber match against the AL Central leaders coming up tomorrow. We're going to wrap this one up, though, on the other side and then get you over to Blue Jays Talk with Show Ali and Daniele Franceschi. Stay with us. Blue Jays win 5-0. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned.
Hey, baseball fans. Thanks for being here for another Toronto Blue Jays game. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. You see that 25K up there? the push is on for 25,000 subscribers. The growth we've seen over this past 6 to 7 months has been absolutely insane, and all the credit goes to you. I just provide the platform. You guys are in the chat, blowing it up, making it happen. Thank you all for doing that, game in and game out. Let's keep it up, and if you're new, jump in. Hit that subscribe button, and let's get on the road to 25K, and let's get it done before the dog days of summer start in baseball. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you in the chat.
15,000 fans on Wednesday, July 3rd, and get your Kevin Gossman bubblegum bobblehead. Get your tickets at BlueJays.com.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca. We're 2 men in a truck. The movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Romano offers an 0-2. Swing and a miss. There are 2 down.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center, where the Blue Jays pick up a big win over the Cleveland Guardians, 5-0. The final score is Toronto beats the leaders in the American League Central to even up the series and give them a shot to take it tomorrow. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Caleb Joseph. Caleb, let's start on the pitching side for the Blue Jays. Trevor Richards gets the start today. Bowen Francis pitches the bulk of the day. But Toronto overall uses 6 different pitchers and does not allow a run against a really tough Cleveland offense.
Yeah, they were absolutely fantastic. Richards had the gyro ball going, that changeup that moves really downward, taking some miles per hour off of it. He put up zeros right out the gate. That's exactly what you want kind of from that opener. And then Meza comes in, works into a little bit of a jam, pops, gets him right out of it. Loved what Bowen Francis was able to do. This is a guy that is trying to really vow for that 5th spot. We know Yariel Rodriguez is waiting in AAA, getting those innings and pitches up. But Bowen Francis looks to me like he really wants to be the guy. I think it was 8 scoreless innings now in his last 2 starts. He's looked fantastic. Cabrera came in, loved the velocity we saw from him. And Pearson was able to wiggle out of a little jam. But when it comes to the pitching side, they did their job. They did exactly what they needed to do. For me, a lot of that had to do with the fact that they had a lead and they had some room for error. They were able to really attack those Cleveland Guardian hitters and really work into their sequences because they had some room for error.
And they won a game keeping Green and Garcia in the bullpen rather than using their 2 highest leverage guys. Part of the reason they were able to do that is what they did with the sticks. After a quick first inning by Carlos Carrasco, Justin Turner, a plate appearance you highlighted for a lot of the game, comes out, works a 9-pitch walk to start the second inning, and things really just start rolling from there for the Blue Jays.
They sure did. I thought that Turner's at-bat really wore down Carrasco. Yes, it's only the second inning, but it set up the entire inning, in my opinion. Varsho gets kind of a hanging slider middle down that he hooks into right field and sets it up second and third. The Guardians bring the infield in. George Springer has had this opportunity as of late. Go back to that Milwaukee game with the bases loaded, and he doesn't contribute, doesn't get it done. But in this game, first pitch right out the gate, you knew that the Guardians were going to try and put the ball on the ground. Carrasco tries to go sinker in off the plate. Springer's ready. He's using his angle of his bat. He's on time to hit that fastball. He hits it right up the middle, and that really got everything kind of moving. Then you look back, and they took advantage of free passes. They then had a leadoff, a walk in the 4th. They had a hit by pitch in the 5th that ended up scoring, and they were able to really manufacture runs. I like the offense wasn't dependent on the extra base hit. You love to see that, but the ability to score without hitting the ball out of the ballpark or off the wall was really nice to see.
Well, you mentioned that Springer base hit. That's today's play of the game. George Springer steps up in a scoreless game in the second and third, and nobody out, and this happens. Second and third, no outs. First pitch to Springer, hit on the line, up the middle, a base hit. Turner in to score. Varsho stops at third. It's 1-0 Toronto on George Springer's RBI single.
Can't tell you how impressive that is to know that you're not having the best season, to know that you're struggling, to know that a lot of people are expecting a lot out of you, and you're coming off of a loss in the previous game. You kind of have an opportunity to take the lead. You know that fastball's coming in on the inner half. The infield is in. You really got to fight for position, and what I mean by that is really directionally getting it up the middle or in the air, and I love the fact that he was on time and ready to hit the fastball. For me, if George Springer, if his year is going to turn, it's going to be because he's ready and on time to hit that heater. He showed it in that at-bat. That really sent the crowd roll. The crowd was roaring after that, and it really kind of got the Blue Jays offense into the game, and they were continuing to add on after that. But that at-bat was really pivotal. If Carrasco gets out of that and gets a ground ball to the left side, they don't score. It starts to put some heat on Barger, on IKF to get it done under the gun, and I love the fact that he was able to come through for the team and really kind of get the ball rolling for him.
You mentioned Barger. After Springer's base hit, he takes off to steal second. Barger rolls the ball through the vacated shortstop hole to score another run. Spencer Horwitz knocks one in to make it 3-0. Blue Jays add on in the fourth and in the fifth inning, and they end up taking the game 5-0 over the Cleveland Guardians. The win today going to Bowen Francis in relief. He goes to 3-2 on the year. The loss for Carlos Carrasco drops him to 2-6. No save today for the Blue Jays. That win puts them at 34-36. The Guardians to 44-24. A 2-hour and 23-minute affair. 39,000 fans in attendance here to watch the Blue Jays play the Guardians, and an exciting finale coming up tomorrow. Join us at 1 Eastern. Ben Lively pitches for Cleveland against Jose Barrios for the Blue Jays. A pair of guys whose earned run averages start with 2 will battle as we see who takes this 3-game set in Toronto. Appreciate you tuning into this one today. For our technical directors, Andrew Adams and Tom Young, our producer, Nick Blackmore, our host, Show Ali, and my partner, Caleb Joseph, I'm Ben Schulman. Hope you have a great rest of your Saturday, and see you tomorrow. But get your calls and texts in, because Blue Jays Talk with Show Ali and Daniele Franceschi starts right now.
Well, Daniele, not only do we get a 5-0 Blue Jays win, they now improve to 26-3 when they score 5 or more runs. The bullpen day headlined by certainly Trevor Richards and Bowen Francis, but 6 Blue Jays relievers, all looking pretty good against a potent Guardian lineup. But hey, a double win for you today.
Yes!
Azuri surviving an early scare at the Euros. So they win. No bad vibes on Jays Talk is what I'm saying today.
Show, I couldn't even make it my way over to the press box before the first goal happened, and I look at my phone, and you're texting like, uh-oh. It was like, what a start for your boys. And a couple other people messaging, what's going on with your boys? Relax. They're fine, Show. Everything's good. Winning edition of Jays Talk coupled by an Azuri victory. Are you kidding me? Terrific recipe for a Saturday afternoon here in the city of Toronto. I'm sure it's buzzing in Little Italy. Buzzing here today at the ballpark, Show. Offense was came alive a little bit.
Yeah.
And the pitching, as you already kind of alluded to, was excellent. I was extremely impressed with Bowen Francis in particular. I thought he was awesome and timely hitting today, which was obviously really positive, encouraging, refreshing to see after some of the things that we've endured with this ball club throughout the first couple, what are we now? 2 and almost a half months into the season here.
That is Daniele Franceschi. I'm Show Ali. You're listening to Jays Talk live on the Sportsnet Radio Network. We're also streaming on sportsnet.ca and on the Sportsnet app. Give us a call, 416-870-0590, 1-888-666 0590 star 590 on your cell. You can text us as well. 590-590, name and location. The People's Text line, Daniele, is always open, as everyone knows. Why don't we continue talking about the pitchers while we wait for the phone lines to fill up here? And, I want us to actually start by talking about Trevor Richards, just because he kind of started the game for us. But we'll certainly get to Bowen Francis and the rest of these guys. But Richards came out in this game. And you and I talked about this in the pregame show. And, I mean, everyone expects this. This is not exactly like the hardest hitting analysis that, he's going to throw a lot of changeups. That's like his biggest pitch, essentially, right? He throws, and like I said to you earlier, the shape of the changeup is so downwards. It gets so north-south,
12
right?
to 6.
Yeah, it's great to watch. And then he comes out, and the top of the first inning just pumps fastballs. He's just throwing fastball after fastball.
I know.
And he was fairly efficient. He actually came back out for the third inning. So he gets just the one batter. And I understand why they lifted him because, he'd thrown 31 pitches at that point, and he probably could have been pushed a little bit more, but knowing the kind of weapons they had in the bullpen, I didn't hate it, even though we knew we weren't going to see Bowen Francis right away. And, of course, we did see other lefties before we got to Bowen Francis. But I got to say, 2 innings and a third, 1 hit, no runs or walks, 31 pitches. He had 1 strikeout as well. Trevor Richards, again, fairly efficient. Not a lot to complain about, really, from any of the bullpen relievers today, but I was really impressed with what we got from Richards. I thought Tim Meza, he allowed 2 hits, basically around 1 out.
It was tough.
It was tough because he faces 3 batters, 9, 1, and 2, essentially. So Bo Naylor, Steven Kwan, Andres Jimenez. So all lefties. And then as soon as David Fry came up, he was lifted, right? And Kwan and Jimenez did get aboard at that point with singles. So I think that does tell you a teensy bit about the leash for Meza at this point of the season. Like, it's short,
There's
right?
none.
They were not rolling the dice, especially with a righty batter, especially with guys on base at that point.
Oh, 100%. First things first, it's difficult to be effective, consistently effective as a reliever, and especially a lefty specialist when you're throwing 91 or 92 with the fastball.
Yeah.
And it's just hard, man. Because in this game, and as we see, and we saw it last night in particular with this Cleveland bullpen, the amount of velocity coming out of the back end amongst those high leverage relievers, that's what you typically see. And I do think, although, and I will say, Cleveland's not an AL East opponent, but Tim Meza, there's a lot of mileage there in a very difficult division. And being in the American League East, being in even the American League for the entirety of his career up until this point, and the amount of work he's actually shouldered, it's difficult.
Sure.
After a while, teams are going to kind of get a book on you. And so right now, he's sort of fighting it. And again, if he had 95, 96 that he could routinely sort of pop in there, it would help a lot. I did think in the moment, sure, I got to admit, because they're, mind you, in the third, they're coming off a 3 spot in the second.
Yep.
So I'm thinking, okay, there's 2 outs. If anything, and you and I talked about this in the pregame where we said, if they go, they'll probably want to break up the righty-righty bullpen combination by inserting a lefty or 2 coming out of the pen. That is ideally what they'd like to do to make at least Stephen Voigt and company have to juggle and weigh the pros and cons of saying, we're a lefty-heavy lineup today. Are we going to stick with that? Are we going to make any adjustments when the lefty comes in? So that is part and parcel what went on here. But I did think, I was stunned. I do think the fact that he only got to face 3 batters, the minimum, tells you all you need to know about the level of confidence and faith that they have in him right now, which understandably is low because he has not been good, but it was very instructive in terms of what, we can glean, because look at the spot that they put him in. Up 3-0, right? In early leverage, low leverage early in the ball game, and they still decided to yank him after back-to-back singles. Not even hard hit balls. Singles, right? We're not extra base hits or anything. It was just back-to-back singles after he recorded an out. There were 2 outs in the inning. They said, "No, we're not messing with this. We're gonna make that decision." And ultimately, it worked out. He was one of the 6 that combined for the shutout, their 5th of the season. Overall, really good pitching performance. That was an interesting spot for sure in the third inning there.
We got to see Zach Pop as well, and Zach Pop literally threw one pitch today.
That was it.
One pitch, one out. He did not return for the next inning, so good for Zach Pop. He did his job. And then Bowen Francis came out for the fourth inning, and he got a fair bit of work, as we knew he would. But I think that was a question for me as to how much work he would actually see, because he's had a bit of an up-and-down season. It's a lefty-heavy lineup, but
yeah.
Caleb talked about this during the game with Ben. Watching his pitch mix today, and certainly he was able to hit the four-seamer up to about 95.5 miles an hour, so that looked pretty lively. That was pretty great. He mixed in a fair bit of curveballs. I loved watching him use the splitter.
Oh, same here.
And I got to say, that Bowen Francis added a splitter in the offseason. Like, of all pitches, too. Not just like he didn't just add a pitch. He added a splitter, which is notoriously difficult to throw and for the catchers to corral, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But, you often hear from pitchers, and I mean, you have done this, too, but we've talked to pitchers on different shows on the network over the years, and, you hear pitchers say, oh, yeah, I'm going to add, like, this pitch, I'm going to add that pitch, and they make it sound somewhat easy, but the few athletes I've spoken to usually say that it doesn't amount to much because everyone says they're going to do it, and you do it a little bit and it doesn't work out for you.
Exactly.
You go back to what works.
Yeah.
But Bowen Francis committed to adding the splitter to his repertoire, his arsenal. He's using it in games pretty effectively. He's throwing it decently hard. He's throwing it in the right counts. He's throwing it to the right parts of the plate.
Yep.
And I got to say, we'll have to see how he continues to use it and how he fares and how he plays it well every 5 days. But I don't know, that's a real weapon for him. Like that allowed him, along with the curveball and along with the velo on the fastball, certainly. Like, a lot of things had to go right for him today, but it helped on a day where he was facing a lot of very lefty heavy batters here. And it was fun to watch because he went deeper than I don't want to say deeper than I thought, but certainly went deep enough to help out the bullpen, even on a day where they still use 6 relievers.
Yeah, no. First, I mean, plain and simple, he was really impressive. That was an awesome outing. Very encouraging, especially after, and I was in the ballpark for this show, he was brought up, obviously, in the aftermath of Manoah being shut down. And I think it was literally on the day we had or not the day it was revealed, but we sort of found out that he was probably going to be gone for a while. This is before they officially made the announcement ahead of the Oakland series that, hey, he's going to have surgery.
Right.
Nevertheless, he gets promoted back up onto this main roster coming off the IL, and he looked really rough against Baltimore. And I think I even said it to you in passing in one of our conversations at work at the studio, where I said, man, if he's leaning on the curveball as his best secondary pitch, he's in trouble. Because it's not enough of a plus curveball to be an effective out pitch. So what did he do today instead? He used the splitter as that big out pitch for him, and it worked wonders. I was amazed and really, really impressed with how effective he was, because based on the body of work that we've seen from him this year, because mind you, he broke camp as the starter, the fifth starter.
Yeah, that's true.
Today I thought was more of a it was closer to the version of Bowen Francis that we saw in spring training in the Grapefruit League, where he earned himself that fifth starter spot. I thought today the guy that was standing on that mound and pitching, who shoved 4 innings of shutout baseball, was closer in resembling the pitcher that we saw during the spring. And to me, that is a massive positive, because even as you said, the fastball had extra life today, but throughout this stretch that we've seen him up until this point, the splitter was essentially his 4th pitch.
Yeah, it's true.
He wasn't utilizing it a ton. He used the slider even more. And today he only threw 3 sliders. We're talking about how effective he was at attacking the strike zone. He threw 68 pitches today. 40 of them were in the strike zone. So he was all around the strike zone all day, challenging hitters, being in command, really dictating the terms of engagement. And I thought that was an impressive outing, and I couldn't agree more. The splitter, to me, is what really, really defined the success he had today in his outing.
So knowing that Yariel Rodriguez is probably going to return by the time we get to the next, start number 5, let's call it, of the rotation, right? Because tomorrow, things turn over. We're going to get Barrios, Kikuchi, Bassett, Gosman. So that's 4 games. That takes you through to the off day, essentially. So 1 game tomorrow, 3 games against the Red Sox. Takes you to the off day on Thursday. So Friday in theory, that would line you up for another quote-unquote bullpen day, right?
Correct.
And that game would be number 1, I believe, in Cleveland at Progressive Field.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if Yariel Rodriguez is back by then, and let's assume for the sake of this conversation that he is, okay? So let's say he's back by next Friday, and you have Y-Rod as your nominal 5th starter.
Yeah.
And he's not stretched out yet. They've talked a lot about he needs to be stretched out to 80 pitches. Let's say he's not quite there yet. Do you feel okay if Yariel Rodriguez and Bowen Francis, like they did before, it's not like we haven't seen this before.
We've seen it.
But
yeah.
they go back to the idea of piggybacking Y-Rod and Bowden, and then you kind of work from there. You try and maybe you get 3 1/3 from one, maybe you get 3 1/3 from another. And today they got 4 from Bowden, so maybe that's what you can get from him going forward. Like you said, 68 pitches. So, I think the most he's thrown in a game this season, albeit in a unfortunate game for him, which was when he got rocked in Houston, but he still threw 79 pitches in that game. So let's say he's getting back up to about there, which would be 11 more pitches than he threw today. You okay with that? Like, you okay with that for your quote-unquote 5th starter?
Definitely. I do think in bigger picture here, I do hope we get to a point where Yariel Rodriguez is able to be deployed as a traditional starter in the sense that it's not about him being efficient and having a pitch limit on and seeing how deep he can go, but rather he can throw 100 pitches and get you into the 6th at the very least every time out. I hope we get to that point, Joe.
Right.
Because based on everything that we've heard from the team, from John Schneider, from anybody around this organization, they clearly are being very cautious with Yariel Rodriguez. I get it. It's understandable and justified given the fact that he didn't pitch last year. That being said, I do think it causes some problems if this is going to be a consistent trend to where, we're 5 starts deep from the time he returns and we're still in this position, this holding pattern where they're monitoring his pitch count, and then Bowen Francis has to piggyback. What I think really complicates it a little bit with Yariel Rodriguez, as opposed to like Trevor Richards and the way he's being deployed, is in theory, you let's say he's got a 75 pitch count limit for his first couple outings. That might take you into the 4th. Then you're going to go to Bowen Francis. What type of work is he going to get? Like it's not a scenario where like Trevor Richards is only going 2/3,
no, I know
2
what you mean.
1/3,
yeah.
right? Like today. So I think that is where, and on top of that, as they've already demonstrated on a couple different occasions, it's clear that they want to be very strategic in how they deploy a lefty in between those guys if the opportunity presents itself. So where does the work come in for Bowen Francis? Where's the work going to come? I just think if he's as good as he was today, you got to find that opportunity, man, because he looked like a different pitcher today. Very simply, he looked like a completely different arm out there today. Made big pitches. Even when he did have traffic on the bases, he got out of jams. He looked excellent, in command, and I'm eager to see him step on the mound yet again as soon as humanly possible. Possibly, as you put it, piggybacking off of Yariel Rodriguez. At the very least, I think that's where they start. That is probably where they start.
416-870-0590. 1-888-666-0590, star 5.
This has been Major League Baseball play-by-play on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app. Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game.
It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet.
Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
It is bedlam in the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made a play.
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall.
Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd.
That ball's high.
Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
The way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams.
The ball, a bat, and a microphone. But no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
He struck it out looking. It's over. It's over. The Rangers have won the World Series.
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio.
Right now on Sirius XM.
All rise.
Coming in 5.
Get ready to play.
4.
Get up. Get up.
3.
Can you believe it? Put your seatbelt on.
Wow. Talk about the game and all the stories on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89, and the Sirius XM app.
8:59. 2:20 p.m. Chicago Cubs take on the St. Louis Cardinals. Cubs on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 844. Cardinals on Internet 865. 3:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Cleveland Guardians. Blue Jays on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 868. Guardians on Internet 847. 4:05 p.m. Baltimore Orioles take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Orioles on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 842. Phillies on Internet 860. 4:05 p.m. San Francisco Giants take on the LA Angels. Giants on Sirius 106, XM 179, and Internet 863. Angels on Internet 852. 4:05 p.m. Washington Nationals face the Miami Marlins. Nationals on Sirius 119, XM 180, and Internet 869. Marlins on Internet 854. 4:10 p.m. Atlanta Braves take on the Tampa Bay Rays. Braves on Sirius 113, XM 181, and Internet 841. Rays on Internet 866.
Mad Dog Sports Radio has the best sports talk in the business, covering sports with a passion and knowledge you need. Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM 86, and the SXM app.
Detroit Tigers manager A.J. Hinch joined MLB Network Radio on Sirius XM Channel 89 to discuss how Justin Henry Malloy offers power and on-base skills to the Tigers lineup.
He smoked the first ball he saw from Nathan Eovaldi last night to the warning track. He's unafraid to hit early and count. This is not a guy who goes up there looking to walk. So he does have a pretty good, strong knowledge of the strike zone. Our players in AAA last year called him like the human ABS. Like he's the dude that swings at strikes and takes balls. And so, you know, that he'll get challenged. And part of the strikeout numbers are gonna come from those long at bats. He's unafraid to get to 2 strikes. That does get you closer and closer to punch outs. And it gets harder and harder as you get to the big leagues. But he's not going to be try to go generate walks. He's trying to generate offensive production. And if they throw him strikes, he's an aggressive hitter. If they don't, then he's going to get into good counts and may result in some walks. So I'm looking forward to giving him consistent at bats. He DH'd last night. He's going to DH again tonight and tomorrow on the Goodman in the outfield this weekend against Milwaukee. But his offensive profile, his offensive performance, what he's dominated in AAA warrants a call up probably long before now, but it's been a work in progress for him to get to this level. And now let's let him settle in and see how he does.
MLB Network Radio is your home for 24/7 baseball talk, featuring on-site coverage of every major event from spring training through the World Series and expert analysis from former general managers and players. Sirius XM, Channel 89.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Saturday, June the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 2:10 p.m. Minnesota Twins take on the Oakland A's. Twins on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 856. A's on Internet 859. 2:20 p.m. Chicago Cubs take on the St. Louis Cardinals. Cubs on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 844. Cardinals on Internet 865. 3:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Cleveland Guardians. Blue Jays on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 868. Guardians on Internet 847. 4:05 p.m. Baltimore Orioles take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Orioles on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 842. Phillies on Internet 860. 4:05 p.m. San Francisco Giants take on the LA Angels. Giants on Sirius 106, XM 179, and Internet 863. Angels on Internet 852. 4:05 p.m. Washington Nationals face the Miami Marlins. Nationals on Sirius 119, XM 180, and Internet 869. Marlins on Internet 854. 4:10 p.m. Atlanta Braves take on the Tampa Bay Rays. Braves on Sirius 113, XM 181, and Internet 841. Rays on Internet 866. 4:10 p.m. New York Mets take on the San Diego Padres. Mets on Sirius 139, XM 183 and Internet 857. Padres on Internet 862. 4:10 p.m., Milwaukee Brewers take on the Cincinnati Reds. Brewers on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 855. Reds on Internet 846. 4:10 p.m., Houston Astros take on the Detroit Tigers. Astros on Sirius 138, XM 182 and Internet 850. Tigers on Internet 849. 7:15 p.m., Boston Red Sox take on the New York Yankees. Red Sox on Sirius 160, XM 184 and Internet 843. Yankees on Internet 858. National Feed on Sirius 111, XM 185 and Internet 963. 7:15 p.m., Seattle Mariners take on the Texas Rangers. Mariners on Sirius 132, XM 186 and Internet 864. Rangers on Internet 867. Spanish Feed on Internet 870. 9:10 p.m., Colorado Rockies take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Rockies on Sirius 158, XM 187 and Internet 848. Pirates on Internet 861. 9:10 p.m., LA Dodgers face the Kansas City Royals. Dodgers on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 853. Royals on Internet 851. Spanish Feed on Sirius 208, XM 175 and Internet 871. 10:10 p.m., Arizona Diamondbacks take on the Chicago White Sox. Diamondbacks on Sirius 209, XM 176 and Internet 840. White Sox on Internet 845. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Saturday, June the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 2:10 p.m. Minnesota Twins take on the Oakland A's. Twins on Sirius 208, XM 175 and Internet 856. A's on Internet 859. 2:20 p.m. Chicago Cubs take on the St. Louis Cardinals. Cubs on Sirius 209, XM 176 and Internet 844. Cardinals on Internet 865. 3:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Cleveland Guardians. Blue Jays on Sirius 210, XM 177 and Internet 868. Guardians on Internet 847. 4:05 p.m. Baltimore Orioles take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Orioles on Sirius 211, XM 178 and Internet 842. Phillies on Internet 860. 4:05 p.m. San Francisco Giants take on the LA Angels. Giants on Sirius 106, XM 179 and Internet 863. Angels on Internet 852. 4:05 p.m. Washington Nationals face the Miami Marlins. Nationals on Sirius 119, XM 180 and Internet 869. Marlins on Internet 854. 4:10 p.m. Atlanta Braves take on the Tampa Bay Rays. Braves on Sirius 113, XM 181 and Internet 841. Rays on Internet 866.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is SiriusXM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. SiriusXM NBA Radio. SiriusXM 86.
Toronto Blue Jays general manager Ross Atkins joined SiriusXM MLB Network Radio on SiriusXM Channel 89 to address the reports that Bo Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. could be traded.
Both of them, especially the month of May, have been very solid. Vladdy's been exceptional in May. He had a slow start, some swing adjustments for him, but he is in a really, really strong place. And as I mentioned, Bo had a strong May, and that's going to continue. I mean, both of them just have such good feel for the barrel and such good feel for competing in the batter's box that they're going to perform. On the second part of that, on extension, of course, we have dialogue with them, and that is something that will continue. We believe in them. We believe in their futures and hope that there's a way they can play here for a long time. And then on the third part of the question of potential trade, it just doesn't make any sense for us. Oftentimes, not often, there will be occasional times as you're talking to other executives that they'll ask if we'll consider, and we just say it's not something that we have spent any time on. But because they're so talented and such great teammates, they are attractive to other teams, so they will call. I was disappointed to see a report that was something that another executive had commented on about our team, but it just doesn't make sense. So really excited about what's ahead for them and how well they've played in May.
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 brings you expert analysis from former players, coaches, and executives, plus reaction to all the latest news on the only 24/7 station dedicated to the National Football League.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Saturday, June the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 2:10 p.m. Minnesota Twins take on the Oakland A's. Twins on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 856. A's on Internet 859. 2:20 p.m. Chicago Cubs take on the St. Louis Cardinals. Cubs on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 844. Cardinals on Internet 865. 3:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays take on the Cleveland Guardians. Blue Jays on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 868. Guardians on Internet 847. 4:05 p.m. Baltimore Orioles take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Orioles on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 842. Phillies on Internet 860. 4:05 p.m. San Francisco Giants take on the LA Angels. Giants on Sirius 106, XM 179, and Internet 863. Angels on Internet 852. 4:05 p.m. Washington Nationals face the Miami Marlins. Nationals on Sirius 119, XM 180, and Internet 869. Marlins on Internet 854. 4:10 p.m. Atlanta Braves take on the Tampa Bay Rays. Braves on Sirius 113, XM 181, and Internet 841. Rays on Internet 866. 4:10 p.m. New York Mets take on the San Diego Padres. Mets on Sirius 139, XM 183, and Internet 857. Padres on Internet 862. 4:10 p.m. Milwaukee Brewers take on the Cincinnati Reds. Brewers on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 855. Reds on Internet 846. 4:10 p.m. Houston Astros take on the Detroit Tigers. Astros on Sirius 138, XM 182, and Internet 850. Tigers on Internet 849. 7:15 p.m. Boston Red Sox take on the New York Yankees. Red Sox on Sirius 160, XM 184, and Internet 843. Yankees on Internet 858. National Feed on Sirius 111, XM 185, and Internet 963. 7:15 p.m. Seattle Mariners take on the Texas Rangers. Mariners on Sirius 132, XM 186, and Internet 864. Rangers on Internet 867. Spanish Feed on Internet 870. 9:10 p.m. Colorado Rockies take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Rockies on Sirius 158, XM 187, and Internet 848. Pirates on Internet 861. 9:10 p.m. LA Dodgers face the Kansas City Royals. Dodgers on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 853. Royals on Internet 851. Spanish Feed on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 871. 10:10 p.m. Arizona Diamondbacks take on the